What's up, everybody? It's Jacob coming to you from an undisclosed location near Denver, Colorado in the Rocky Mountains. We got a packed live stream tonight. We're going to talk a lot about robots. I got some robots news for you and some things for you to feast your eyes on. We also have some AI slop too. And I'm going to talk a little about, by the way, welcome to AI Jihad, which is the theme for tonight's live stream. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to take themes from movies and album covers. And I'm going to talk about how I use AI to make these images. I've been getting questions from some of my viewers to do that. So I thought maybe I'd take a few minutes to kind of show you the method that I do. Because a lot of people that are teaching these things are kind of like last year, right? So I'm going to kind of show you what the new stuff is. But I'll be using an old AI, but I'll show you the newer techniques, which I'm really excited to show you that. Let's see here. Let's see who's in the chat tonight. It looks like we have a couple of new viewers. Looks like we got the Night Owl. Who's our inaugural channel member, by the way. Thanks for coming out again, Night Owl. Before the live stream started, he asked me what would be the AI spice, because tonight's theme is Dune, right? A jihad. So jihad on us, the humans, by the robots is kind of the whole idea. But he asked the question, what would be the AI spice that the I guess the robot Fremen would be using? And my answer was data. Because data is how the AIs expand their consciousness. So there you go. Awesome. So great to see you. Thanks for coming out, Night Owl. Let's see. We have QN Bits. I think I've seen you come by before. Let's see. You say coming from an undisclosed location and then proceeds to disclose. Yes, you got me. I'm being controlled by the AI. What can I say? I'm controlled by an algorithm. And then we have Mr. Kolovrat, formerly known as Rexist. So thanks for coming out, checking us out. And we have channel moderator, Baddie Commander, and Big Bad Raymond. I think I just saw him coming by. I thought I saw him. Yes, here we go. Hey, Raymond, thanks for dropping in real quick and checking us out. Glad to see your channel's exploding. You're doing well. I could only aspire to get up to 26,000 someday. But yeah, I'm just really happy to see how much you've grown in the last year. Just really proud of you, bro. And I mentioned Baddie Commander. He's our resident moderator, so you best behave yourself. He's also a content creator, makes really cool videos with green screens, but I don't think he uses a whole lot of AI. I've been trying to convert him, but it's still cool to do things the analog way. So, which is kind of funny because green screen's technically not analog, but you get my drift. All right, so let's talk a little about robots. So let me pull up here a couple things. I've just been kind of noticing a couple of things happening where, last year, if you had asked me if robots were gonna take trades, I would have had an emphatic no. And I'm really starting to see a lot of innovation of robotics. I mean, we're still a long ways away before a robot's going to be like a total journeyman and can get in the walls and fix pipes and get it and mess with wires inside walls and stuff like that. But like building from the ground up or basic repairs out in the wide open kind of seems to be where we are. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of that. So let me get that set up here real quick. Make sure I have the right window up. And I also got to be quick on the mute button because last week I got nailed by the copyright algorithm because I keep forgetting in shorts they let you play whatever song you want. All right, so we have you got to see what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. So we have robots scrubbing off all the dead birds on wind turbines. So let me play this, and then if there's any music, I'm going to mute this. All right, here we go. Yeah, there's music on there. But they got these robots that crawl up not while they're spinning, of course, but they crawl up the blades and, yeah, see all the scum on there? Scrub them off. Of course, on the other side, it looks like a big old blade saw. I don't know what that's all about, but anyway, but yeah, it just goes up and just scrub a dubba, just like brushing a big old tooth, right? And, okay, that's one thing, but what about repairing power lines? I had a viewer last week suggest that I look this up, and this is sped up, but there's this AI robot. I think I'll have to mute this. Let me just check real quick. Yep. All right. Let me start this over. It's live. What can I say? Okay. So watch this robot. It's sped up. It's not the best quality, but this is in China somewhere. And it actually strips the insulation and then splices the wire on with multiple adapters. So there's the thing taking off the insulation. And there's the other adapter or whatever that it put on to splice the wire. Another insulation removal. So, I mean, I'm not a high voltage electrician, so I don't know if that's, really the right way to do it. But there is a dude sitting in there. I don't know if you saw it. There is a guy, there he is right there. See him? Yeah. Okay. I got my arrow in the right place. Yeah. There he is right there. So apparently this is an AI powered robot, but this is not always the case. Some of these robots, I think this one's autonomous. Let me go to one. Oh, don't go ahead, Jacob. Let me just show you this one. So this is kind of like a little nanobot that explores the high-powered lines and starts looking at the. I don't know what those are. I don't think those are. I think they're insulators to prevent like lightning bolts like traveling across to the tower. I think that's what those are. If anybody knows about that, please chime in. Yeah. Hey, Lisa, thanks for coming out tonight. Good to see you. Channel regular. But there you go. Just kind of crawling around, sniffing on the line, trying to find defects. And then there's kind of like those are autonomous, right? But then you have like what that guy had in there. That's AI assisted, right? So that's another flavor that you're going to see. And I think there's a better video. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, here we go. So let me play that. We should be good here. So I'm going to turn the sound on for this one. So this is in something city. I'll butcher that, so I'm not going to say it. But they deploy this robot with a drone, and then it just rolls along. And this thing is remote control, I believe. All right, let's get to the. Here we go, flying this thing up. Oh, you're just sweating so hard right now, aren't you, boys?
通过大量的实操检验来看，这个系统半小时就能完成。
What he means to say is, through a lot of practice playing video games my whole life, now I can control a robot to do my job. There you go. And then there's another one here that I just wanted to show you. Just, because it's not just like one company. There's competition. There's a lot of these things floating around out here. And it kind of seems like China's the one that's leading the way here. I think this one's remote control from the ground. There you go, it's removing the insulation. All right, I'm gonna mute that. That music's kind of sounding a little. All right, well there you go. So just to give you kind of an idea of what's going on and some other things with robots here. And then I've got a couple more, and then we're gonna slip over to a couple things that I want to talk to you about in the news. And there's one video I won't do tonight, but it's going to be my video Wednesday because it's Black Friday, right? There's actually an AI toy that has come out that apparently is causing quite the kerfuffle. I won't say that word again. Quite the stir, because it just has ChatGPT in it, and you can basically like ask it anything you want. Nobody like sealed it off or governed it or anything. So basically, think Teddy Ruxpin telling you how to set a fire in your house. So that's going to be this week's video. All right, so let me queue up this other one here. Just give me a second. We saw that one. We saw that one. Yes. Okay. So more trade robots. So we've got you know, it's one thing, you know, it's not super new, but having robots doing welding, but normally it's like in a factory. But this is the first time I've actually seen like a small robot doing welding on just like a, you know, a grounded table with just one guy working alongside it. Usually it's like a larger industrial environment. I think it's going to zoom in and show us. I want to see that weld. Show us the bead, bro. There we go. That was pretty good. All right. And then, of course, we can't have robots without war machines. So let's check this last robot here that has some interesting things going on with the gears and the wheels, things that it can do.
China's Northeastern University just built a robot that runs on wheels and climbs like it has legs. Called the Wheel Ring Infantry Robot, it can fold its circular legs into wheels for speed, then open them to walk or jump over obstacles. Tests show 300% better mobility and 40% less power than legged bots. If this hybrid design scales, it won't just win RoboMaster. It could redefine how real infantry moves in the next decade.
I'll tell you what, if you're in a wheelchair, you ain't missing that bus. Oh, hey, Adrian, thanks for coming out. Good to see you. Hello. Wave back at you. Let's see here. We got a couple other comments in here. We'll go through the chat real quick and move on to the next segment. I'm actually working quite a bit on some new parts to my live stream overlays and trying to get that all together. And so hopefully over the next couple of months here, you're going to see a dramatic difference in the way that I interact with you, as well as how I bring in content. Now that I have to have like 5 browser windows open, each with like a million tabs. So trying to make that simpler. But anyway, let's see here what we have going on in the chat. Yes, QM bits. This is kind of how I see it happening. This is probably what will happen. Robots and AI will expand into complicated individual tasks and assist humans instead of replacing them altogether. So yeah, it's I guess the term is force multiplier. So you'll be able to have one person do the work of 100 people with robots and whatever. So a lot of our jobs are just going to be orchestrating and, you know, pointing, hey, go over there and, you know, put that wall on those beams or whatnot, that kind of thing. And we're already seeing a lot of that in the digital realm, in desktop work, you know, like knowledge work. I'm already seeing those kinds of things. And in fact, the AIs that I use in my day job, it feels more like I'm collaborating with like a junior programmer, junior IT cyber specialist. It's kind of how it's feeling these days. Okay, so let me get the next segment going here. Oh, by the way, I just want to throw this in here. We got to have AI slop, right? Got to have that. So, they promised us flying cars, right? We're not getting flying cars, but it looks like we're going to get this.
This is genius, because this belt is changing the personal transportation industry. This wearable rig is equipped with 20 ducted fans and a lightweight frame that can lift a person up to 200 pounds. Power it on, push the joystick to lift, hover, strafe.
By the way, this is total bullshit. This is AI. I just wanted to like make that clear, just to do my due diligence, because you're not going to have all these USB fans being able to rocket you. But yeah, it'll cool you off in more places than one, Batty. I kind of have a feeling. Special diaper not included. Okay, I just wanted to throw that in there. Just a little sense of humor. Okay, let me do a little bit of cleanup here. Yes, the design actually was kind of cool. The LED lights kind of sold it for me. Yeah, slop. It is definitely slop. I won't deny that. It's getting pretty bad. Actually, you know what? Let me just pull up one more thing. Because I'm older, and my parents, they're always quoting old movies. And because I'm Gen X, I know what movies they're talking about. And when I was growing up, there was a movie I was not supposed to see. Hold on here. Here we go. And somebody took parts of it and basically they AI-ified it and kind of add another layer here. I just got to get this. Here we go. Come on. All right. This is live. What can I say? All right. So when I was a kid, if you remember Cheech and Chong, lots of comedy around smoking spliffs and all that. So they basically, the AI baby thing, right? I've seen AI babies of politicians, but Cheech and Chong, I couldn't believe it. I got such a kick out of that.
What? I almost gave you the wrong shit, man.
So there you go. Now, yeah, there's fun sides to slop, and then there's bad sides. But what's scary about this is, now your everyday average person can do this. And what I might do actually for a new, because this week I want to show you how to do it with images. I think in an upcoming live stream, I'll show you how you can actually build stuff like this in different contexts. I don't want to give you too much power too fast, but essentially it's actually probably about 3 or 4 AIs at this moment that enable you to do different steps. And the first part that I'll show you tonight is actually really important to make the video part. But all right, let's get back to the serious stuff here. Let me get cleaned up here. You like that, Night Owl? It's what did you talk? There was that part where his dog ate it, and it's got a Labrador in it. It's basically smoking dog turds. Classic. Okay, let me get over to. All right, so we're going to hear from Sam Altman tonight. We're going to hear from Elon Musk tonight. But also there's, as I've talked about on this channel, there's just been a parade of CEOs coming out and proclaiming all these, ranging from there's warnings. We're warning you. It's not my fault. I told you, go learn AI. You're going to get fired, that kind of thing. And so I kind of want to play you a couple of news reports to kind of show you how the CEOs are talking and kind of dispel some things, and also redirect in some other directions for ways for you to think, which will lead us into what Elon said this week, basically saying that work will become optional and we won't need money anymore. So basically, I guess he's on the board for Star Trek socialism. So we'll see. Yeah, there you go. Yes, Adrian, you just aged yourself, of course, with your sigil. I know. That is the best scene, but actually that scene in Up in Smoke was an original comedy sketch they used to do live when they were doing comedy in LA, and they would just mime everything in chairs like they were driving. And some of those videos you can find online, and that skit is way longer than it was in the movie. It was pretty good if you want to check that out. Okay, so let's go over to Fox and Friends, and the title of this is AI Panic versus Reality, and the subtitle is Learn It or Lose It, Expert Warns. And I agree with this somewhat, but I'm going to throw in some caveats and some other pieces of tidbits. And YouTube, this is fair use, and so is everything else, by the way, but this is fair use. I'm transforming this work with my commentary. Okay, here we go.
So in New York, a new Fox News poll shows a majority of voters think AI will eliminate jobs in the next 5 years. Our next guest says we need to start embracing AI in higher education, writing, quote, AI won't replace people, but those who know how to use AI will replace those who don't.
So that's that multiplying effect I was talking about earlier, QN bits. That the jobs are you'll still have a guy that'll do coding, but he's gonna just do the coding of like the entire team that like we would have like 3 years ago, right? Okay, let's continue on. Fair use.
Universities must strive to ensure their graduates fall into the former group. Here with more is Dr. Jerry Ballantyne. Doc, thanks so much for joining the program. I found your piece in the Wall Street Journal so fascinating. You also write that this fear of AI is misplaced and it's even dangerous. What did you mean when you wrote that?
I think we need to embrace it, right? So if I now say, look, I'm scared of AI, I'm going to walk away from it, then I might lose my job. I need to embrace AI and say, so how can I get better at AI? Like at the New York Institute of Technology, we train all our students in AI. If you
Yes, and pausing for fair use, but also for commentary. It's not just young people, Gen Xers, and even boomers, to a degree, which I'll get into in a second, but especially Gen Xers. A lot of us still have a lot of good work life left. And a lot of my buddies that are coders, some of the best coders I've ever worked with, poo-poo AI. And then I show them the stuff that I do, and they just go, whatever. But yeah, it's gonna touch every single job, especially knowledge work. And as I've showed you earlier, it's coming for trades too. But knowledge work is first. First the entry level, then the upper level, and I always talk about the great squishing, right? You're gonna have the white collar CEOs, even to a degree, are gonna start dropping like flies because you won't need as much management and as many stakeholders to run a company. And we're gonna see a one-person unicorn, which in IT or in Silicon Valley, that's like $1 billion company. We're going to see a one-person unicorn soon. I'm not going to put a date on it, but I think it will happen. All right, so let's get back to the video. I know I squirrel, but it's important stuff. So let's go back to putting AI in the schools.
in the School of Management, we actually require you to use AI for your projects so that when you're done with our schooling, when you apply for jobs, you can say, hey, I know AI. So I think
and AI knows you.
We need to eliminate the fear and embrace it so that all of us, no matter what our job is right now, can continue in our jobs utilizing AI.
Doc, you even take on the theory that it's going to replace people. And you say this very clearly. You say AI won't replace people, but those who know how to use AI will replace those who don't.
Yeah, and a lot of this term you'll also hear bandied about is displacement. So people will get displaced from a job, but the job won't go away. It just means, like I said, a force multiplier. One person or maybe 5 people can do the work of what used to be 30 people, 50 people, 100 people, just depending on the complexity and how far we get those autonomous agents I talk about a lot rolling. Whoops. Fair use, YouTube. Let me, I think I just muted this inadvertently.
It's the same concept, right? So I will need to be able to use AI no matter what my job is. Let's say I run a small business, right?
Yes.
And I say, oh, AI won't affect me at all. It's just me and my buddy running this business, but it will. It will help us plan our schedules better. It'll help me eliminate some of the email traffic that I'm getting that's distracting me from the job at hand. There's no job in this country that will not change. My job will change, and it's already changing. And we need to prepare everyone for that because we want everybody to be successful, right? We want everybody to continue in their jobs, in their careers, in their lives without being interrupted.
Yeah, just curious how many of you in the chat think that your job is safe from AI, or you don't think AI will affect it much. Just kind of give me a temperature of how much you think AI could come in and affect what you're doing. I'm just curious.
So true, Doc, because I've noticed with AI, at least personally for myself, it complements the work schedule in the sense of my research is now more streamlined because it's a tool. Yeah. It's not the replacement. You still need someone to fact check it and look over some of the data because it's a robot, it's not a human.
I absolutely, and I think that's what you just said is one of the keys. If you think back, and I'm old enough to remember the internet coming around, and when we
By the way,
first started looking stuff
before
up
he
on the
starts
internet, it
talking
was
about the good
totally
old .com days, we have AIs hallucinate. They get things wrong, right? So you have to have a human check the work. Some people try and use other AIs to check AIs. They'll have like consensus and other things that they can try and do. It depends on how complex a task is, but hallucination is like one of the hugest problems that I think we'll have with AI. The type of AI we have today, narrow AI, which generative AI is a part of a family of AIs that we've had since the mid-50s, by the way. But the next generation, like AGI, the question is, can we fix the hallucination, the tendency to do the hallucinating? If they fix that, whew, it's going to change everything. It's a paradigm shift.
unfiltered, and anything could come up. And I think it's the same with AI. We still need the human understanding of what my job actually means and what I'm trying to achieve. Because AI might take us in the wrong direction. So that's where the human component is so instrumental. We're incorporating it into all our classes at the New York Institute of Technology to help our students not just deal with AI, but also understand it, the positives and the negatives. We actually started a minor, an additional training for all students on campus who want to, whether you're a nursing student, a medical student.
There goes the comparative religion course that everybody has to take. But yeah, notice how he said stealing with AI. So he alluded to it that we need, I'll expand a little bit on what he was alluding to, or he just glazed over it, that we've got to change the education system so that kids learn more than just being able to prompt an AI to write a whole, I always use this analogy, to write an entire essay on Napoleon Bonaparte without doing any of the research or reading a little bit about a history or whatever. We've got to teach problem solving, critical skills thinking. And personally, I think it's great that he wants to have AI in the schools, but I think there should be a period in the day or a period in the early development of education where children, and this is a little extreme for some people, but I don't think children should be exposed to smartphones, let alone AI. They need to be able to do basic reading, writing, and arithmetic by hand. Okay, I'll give them a calculator, a slide rule. They got to be able to do the problem solving themselves, because when you're using the AI, especially the way I use it today, and I'll demonstrate with creating the thumbnail, show you how I create the thumbnail, you have to understand thinking at the scale of systems, how different systems exist by themselves and how they talk to each other, how they're interconnected. Even like, never mind programming, just like how you do, Sally does one part of her job in the company. She's got a whole system. There's a whole flow to how she does everything. And even with the system with AI, how does that interconnect and affect downstream what Bob's doing with his shit, right? Systems level thinking. So that's what the AIs are going to do. It's going to free up a lot of that kind of higher level thinking. And you know what? Some people don't want to work like that. Some people just want to sit on their ish and collect a check. And, we might have a world like that. We might have Star Trek socialism, like Elon's going to say. Work maybe will become optional. I don't think it'll happen in the next few years, but, the way AI is advancing, it could very well happen within our lifetime, my lifetime. All right, so here we go. Let's get back to it. Fair use, YouTube. I was pausing for commentary. Don't sue me.
An architecture student, computer sciences in AI, unrelated to your technical skills. So you don't need to be a programmer to take these classes. And I think that's really important that we need to do for everyone.
Such a positive message. I did want to get your thoughts on Elon Musk and what he had to say about AI and the potential that we won't have to work. This is what he had to say. Watch.
My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. So, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which this seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future.
So what do you think of that? Let me know in the chat. Do you want to make a paycheck, a regular paycheck, or would you be happy just collecting benefits or whatever? Last week, I had a gentleman, or was it? No, I'm sorry, 2 live streams ago, who talked about a system of how you would deploy an AI system that works for you and borrows money from you and goes out and deploys that capital, right? Just like a business, grows that capital and pays you back in interest. And that's how you make your income. It's a little pie in the sky, but I kind of see how it could work. But as you'll see later, there's something going on with robots that might delay that just a little bit. All right. Let's see. Mr. Kolovrat, I'm just going to call you Rexus because that's how I remember your brother. So I hope you don't get mad unless you want me to use your new name. But he says, yes, the reason why my reading is good is because I never had my phone until I was 15 and I didn't use it for a good year until I turned 16. Yeah. There's also a lot of studies too coming out with, especially the iPad kids, Gen Alpha, where they're lacking the critical thinking skills that I was just talking about earlier, that you're going to need to think at systems level. It's very concerning. So that's kind of where I come from, where it's like, we gotta have some kind of like cloistered environment where the younger kids are not exposed to the dopamine hits and the phones and the AI now that, it's just going to make it easier. I mean, like my buddy I was talking about earlier, that one of the good coders, he's teaching web programming like the old way, and the students constantly beg him, "Can I use AI? Can I use AI?" So he's not having it. Oh, hey Lily, thanks for coming out. I know it's late where you are, so hopefully I can speak loud enough for you to stay awake. But thanks for coming out. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. We got an interesting input here from QN Bits. He says, I propose a combination of the 3. 1, some universal benefits. 2, a smaller paycheck for smaller workload. And 3, much lower prices at the market. Yeah. I think the lower prices might actually kind of happen naturally as productivity gets so massive that asset prices will deflate. And so I think things will get more affordable to us. We'll have the effect of that. Yeah, I'll just stop there. I don't want to give a whole lecture on that. But there's some interesting people that talk about how actually a lot of assets will deflate quite dramatically because the level of productivity from AI. Let's see. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Rexus. Kolovrat. But yeah, just if it hurts you, I no worries. It's just how I remember you. Okay, so we're going to go back to our report here and see how they expand on what Elon Musk said about work potentially being optional. And I don't think they played the rest of the clip, but he went on to say that money will become optional, meaning that I think he's probably in the camp of where the AI is going to go out, like the co-op system. The AI goes out and earns for you, and you actually don't really own anything and be happy. That sounds familiar.
Doc, what did you make of that statement?
I think all of us like the idea of not having to work, right? And just sit back. But I think it's a really, it's worrisome in the sense that I think we're talking about 40, 50 years or further from now, maybe. We're not talking about the next 10 years. We're not talking about the next 15 years. All of us will still need to have jobs. And somebody's going to have to pay us. Somebody's going to have to pay my rent. So how will that exchange take place? And obviously, he's a very futuristic thinking person with a lot of experience in the tech sector,
Yeah, but Elon's bodacious. He says all kinds of shit. So that was a pretty bold statement. I will say that.
Steps ahead of us in many ways. But right now, in the reality we're in, we need to learn about AI. It's not going to replace most of our jobs, and we all will still be working.
Doc, I love the way that you break it down. I think we have to get away from the fear. We have to get back to, God designed us all with this special ability. We can do things that no one else can do. And even
Yeah, until they figure it out with robots. But anyway, they're just gonna banter on about business. So let's see here. Yeah, Lily, I kind of agree with you in another shade of color, so to speak, or another facet of what you're saying. She says that I need other people to work so places aren't busy. I don't like being around too many people. Yeah, I mean, this is why I live stream. I'm a massive introvert. So I was shopping today, and even though like people aren't out as much, it still was kind of busy because it's like the week before Thanksgiving here in the States. And and Black Friday's coming, so everybody's like hunting for toys and crap for Christmas. And yeah, I just don't like to be around all that. So yeah, people need a purpose is kind of what I'm getting at. Is I would like to see more people not be so quick to go, yeah, I don't want to work, because then you're gonna have all kinds of weird behavior, people that are bored and just do random things like blow up things and do dirty deeds is kind of how I see it kind of devolving. Yeah, I suppose you're right, Batty. Someone has to clean the sewer from time to time, but I'm sure there's somebody building a robot that does that right now. Okay, so let me get the next guy up here. So we have another CEO, and I don't like this guy. I think he's a scumbag personally. He's the CEO of Robinhood, the trading platform. But he's talking about the things that his company is planning to do with AI, and he gives like the usual, I'm warning you, you better learn it kind of thing. But there's some other interesting points that he makes in here. And as the reminder says below, please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I appreciate the interactivity. Or even give a thumbs down. I really don't care. I just, tickle the algorithm. Do your boy a favor. Yeah, Adrian, he does talk a lot of poo-poo. So let's, and I'm going to call him out on some stuff here. So let's
all right,
play
shares
this.
of Robinhood pulling back a little bit today. They posted earnings last night, and as far as the pullback, listen, talked about it already in this show. Kind of par for the course.
Oh, and by the way, real quick, fair use YouTube. I am changing this. I'm converting this, transforming this work with my commentary, and also for my audience. I actually wanted to play this for you because I just remember I forgot my main reason for playing this is I want to warn you is if you've ever done any trading before or want to do investing, you have people that buy and you have people that sell, or you have people that long or short. And now you're going to have these MFers with their AIs. There's already bots that people are using to trade against you. But this douchebag, I think he's going to be running his own bots inside his own company, playing against his own customers. All right, so let's keep going. And this is the case for any asset that you would trade. I'm a little more cautious about trading these days because stocks are still very, very human oriented. But if you spend any time in the cryptos, you'll see that it's very algorithmic. It's more predictable than stocks. Not that I'm saying it's a sure bet, but there's definitely a lot of bots doing a lot of trading on all kinds of cryptos. Okay, and now I think they've been practicing on cryptos. Now they're going to bring this stuff over to stocks and bonds and all the other regular assets. It's kind of what I'm getting at here. Let's continue on.
This earnings season, particularly for names that have made significant moves in 2025, and none have made more significant moves than Robinhood.
Yeah,
the
he's a
number
hood,
one
all right.
percentage gainer on the S&P this year. And by the way, I think the quarter was remarkable. Robinhood, growth by product. Options were up 50%. Crypto was up 339%. Equities up 132%. Interest up 66%. And the company also gained market share across equities. They gained market share in options. They gained market share in crypto. They gained market share in margins. And additionally, Robinhood now has 11 business lines that generate more than
Yes, Night Owl, pausing for fair use, but also because this is so true. But see, they're Dirtbags. Okay. Look what happened with GameStop, what they did on Robinhood and screwed over all their customers. If you don't trade, I don't want to get into all of that, but they screwed over a lot of people by basically halting trading when they knew they lost their ass. All right. Okay. So let's get back to it.
$100 million.
Douchebags.
So I want to bring in now Robinhood Chairman and CEO Vlad Tenev. Vlad, congratulations. 1.27 billion beat consensus on the top line, 61 cents beat consensus on the bottom line. What's driving this? How did you garner this much momentum? What are you attributing this success to?
Great to be here, Charles. I think it's just the continued relentless product velocity by the great team that we've had.
Okay, CEO speak. Let me get
prediction
to this.
Markets, tokenization in the EU, and Robinhood banking.
I want to go to your margin book. What's your feeling? I mean, you're connected
on the platform, and the assets on the platform are up to our product. But we've made.
I
so
apologize.
Much progress.
I had this queued up, and then I had to cut and paste it into my live stream browser. I apologize. Just stick with me here.
To your advantage, that your growth is tied into younger investors, and as they grow and they
look at Robinhood's business now, we're at $1/3 of a trillion in assets. And that seems like a big number, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to what's happening in the next few decades. We're in the early stages of the great wealth transfer, where north of 120 trillion are going to be passed down from older generations to younger.
The boomers.
And we're on top of this. We think we could be one of the main, if not the main, beneficiary of this. That's why we're focused on building amazing financial tools for the next generation, and really tools for the whole family. If you look at our credit card and banking offerings.
I'll just warn you right now, if you don't, just going on the stock market and trading, no, you'll lose your money. You got to watch a lot of things, got to pay attention to the news. If this guy thinks that he's just going to make tools for because he's going to get to the AI here. I lost my spot. I apologize, but we'll get there.
The first, to my knowledge, that makes the family an integral part of your financial experience. So you can get cards and savings accounts for your partner, for your children, for household staff. And I think as that rolls out more broadly, it'll become
your household staff. This
the standard for family finance across generations.
You mentioned some products earlier. Let me ask about, is it too early to start talking about the impacts to the bottom line? Predictions market, the international expansion?
Yeah, so prediction markets have been growing very quickly, and the impact to the bottom line is significant. You mentioned yourself, we now have 11 business lines that are north of 100 million in annual revenue run rate. Prediction markets being one of them, and Bitstamp, which is our first institutional business, being the second. Now remember, prediction markets only rolled out about a year ago with the launch
Hold
of our
on.
president.
I am so sorry. You guys, this isn't an investment channel. Let me just find in the damn transcript. Just give me a second here. He's had this whole thing about AI, and I biffed it. My bad. Let me get here to the transcript, find it. You know what? In the interest of just moving on, I'm just going to drop this one. I'm sorry, guys. I usually have these more curated, but for some reason when I pasted it, I lost my bookmark. And like Lily says, his face is just annoying the hell out of me. I hate that guy. He's such a douchebag. Okay, I'm sorry. Hate's a strong word. Sorry, Jesus. You love me. I know. Okay, so let's get back to some more job loss stuff. I'm working up. I'm working up to Sam Altman and Elon Musk. I have my reasons here. So there's hold on. Let me just make sure I have the right video before I start jabbing. Just give me 1 second. So I close the tab. Yes, this is the guy. Okay. So this is kind of a combination of talking about the effect of AI on the job market and also education. So I'm trying to merge some dots for you here. So let's see what a senator has to say about AI here. Oh, let's see. We have some some chats here. Let me just rest my brain for a second. See what we have here. Let's see, got a question from Rexus. Oh yeah, did you hear about Disney and Activision starting to use AI to help develop their games and run Disney Plus? I think with Disney Plus, but it's definitely, yes. It's not going well. I mean, on so many levels with Disney right now. But yeah, I think the first thing they need to fix is their writing. Their writing is absolutely terrible. Yeah, I'm not going to read this out loud, Night Owl, but I hate to say it. It's I kind of yeah, and I want to support him in his statement, by the way, which he did not do. The thought crossed my mind as well. I know where your heart is. Okay, so let's start this report, and it's CNBC. So yeah, this reporter is just going to absolutely grill this senator. For the wrong reason.
Alarm about AI job losses. He recently introduced a bipartisan bill that would require companies and the federal government to report AI-related job data, including losses to the Labor Department. Joining us right now is Senator Mark Warner.
By the way, fair use YouTube, I'm transforming this with my commentary. And actually, I don't think that's a bad idea. We need more data. We got to really find out how many jobs are actually being lost to AI. Because the last official number I heard was only 10,000 jobs have been lost. But there's displacement, right? There's the multiplier effect. Then there's the effect of your job just won't exist anymore. It'll just go away. So that's not really like job loss, right? So they need more data, right? So let's get back to this fair use.
He is a Democrat from Virginia. And Senator, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I know that this is legislation that you're introducing with Josh Hawley, who is a Republican on this. Where does the concern come from? What are you hoping to get at?
Well, the concern is we know AI is going to transform the economy. It's going to eliminate a lot of jobs. It's also going to create some jobs downstream.
Which we don't know yet. Ask Sam Altman, point blank, and Elon Musk what those new jobs are. Nobody really truly knows. The only thing that I know is the whole idea of the systems level thinking and orchestrating. That's the first wave. But after that, I have no idea.
What we're trying to get at is just some good data. As companies eliminate jobs through AI, they ought to report that. And what I'm particularly concerned about is not so much the elimination, but the fact that entry-level jobs may very quickly disappear. We're already at 9% recent college graduate unemployment. I think that number will go to 25% very shortly. That will have effect not only on those folks getting out of college without a job directly, but their parents who probably finance that education.
And not only the 25% unemployment rate amongst the youth, which is just a bloodbath, but how you got all these people that learned the old way, how are they going to go up the career ladder to get to the mid-level? That's you got to change the education system for that. So, I kind of agree the premise of what this guy is talking about, but let's get back to it, fair use.
And one of the things I've been going to the AI community and saying, guys, I will buy it that there'll be new AI jobs created, but it may be a 5-year gap.
Yeah.
Help us figure out in the interim, and help pay, by the way, in the interim, for how we do this kind of.
And this is where UBI, a lot of people talk about UBI is that 5-year, to use his time period, Band-Aid until the new jobs, the new golden age of AI comes in, is the idea. But you know how it is with politicians. If they got that, they're going to dangle that check over your head. They're going to want people to stick on it. Right? Because they have that power. That's just the way I think it's going to go. But anyway.
Training for jobs that are AI-centric. And I really want to put it to the AI guys to be part of this, but it all starts with data.
That's what I was getting at. This idea that you report it and then do what? But your plan is you are going to charge who for the training on this? The AI guys. Who
what
are
I'm
they?
saying is this.
She doesn't get it.
I'm saying we can go down all of the AI entities who will acknowledge, many of them acknowledge this level of job dislocation. They will say, as everybody on the show says, government will screw it up. Well, I'd say you're right. Well, last time we did a massive job retraining program in the early 90s with Trade Assistance Act, it didn't work. But let's go to the AI community and say, work with us. And frankly, let's put in place this retraining program so that as AI jobs come about, we don't have this level of, particularly coming out of college, job loss. I already know all the big banks are cutting their internship programs. Their hiring's in half. They intend to cut again.
Yeah, it's everybody. Everybody's shrinking, but it's not just because of AI. You know, it's kind of the boogeyman. Right now, we're kind of recovering from the over hiring during the lockdowns and all of that. We have not seen the real layoffs to AI yet because AI is not profitable. The companies are not making money with it. But the progress I've seen in the last year, companies are figuring it out. They're figuring out the better ways to roll it out in their companies. And I think late 2026, going into 2027, I think we'll start to see the real serious layoffs to AI because the companies will go, oh, now we know how we're going to implement the AI. Or not just the layoffs, but also the displacement that I talk about and the disappearing of jobs. So as the companies figure out, new companies will be created. They just won't create the new jobs in that 5-year period. It'll all be like orchestration and systems level thinking. So like those brand new jobs that nobody knows are going to come, that can't name them. We don't know what they're going to be. Still a way off, right? Okay, so just filling a couple blanks for you. Fair use, YouTube.
Next year, and my feeling is if we eliminate that front end of the pipeline, how are people ever going to get to that mid-career spot?
Okay, I agree with you on your concern about what happens to entry-level jobs, 100%, but you're already wrapping it up with this idea that, and we're going to make you pay to retrain. That makes me think you are.
Okay. Let me just give me a second to calm down a little bit. Just not getting it. So, number one, the idea of paying to retrain, that's I mean, you could just ask AI how to teach you to do something, all right? So there's that too. We have to reformat the way education's going to be so that people learn problem solving, what I was talking about earlier, without the AI, so that when they do move into an environment that's using a lot of the AI, they can then work at that mid-level builder level that a lot of people are still surviving when the ones that are using the AI, the ones that still have their jobs because they know the AI now. All right. I had one other point. I lost it, but it'll come back to me. Fair use. Here we go.
Instead of going to be shining light on what's happening with this situation, you are only going to encourage companies to be less honest and less open about what's happening when the answer is you're going to pay, we're going to tax you, we're going to come at you to make sure we fix this.
No. What I would say is this. You got to start with good data. We don't have any of that data right now. Two, if you go to 25% recent college graduate unemployment levels, this will be the dominant political issue.
Hey, Homefront, welcome. One of our senior tradesmen in the audience.
In 26 and 28. I think, and government's response ought to be, how do we actually work with the AI community and say, you guys help us figure out what that job training, retraining program looks like. We clearly, if we go way back in time, 3 years ago.
They're still figuring it out. They like I said, a lot of the companies lost their ass the last couple of years rolling out AI. They really don't know how to use it in their day-to-day operations. I can show you study after study where companies lost productivity. They didn't realize it was going to be so expensive to run. Timelines shrank and expanded in all kinds of weird different ways. So yeah, I mean, maybe in the future they'll know all this, but this is why he's saying we need data. We need to understand the problem.
And we thought, well, at least everybody ought to be a coder. That didn't end up being the right thing. I really want to get engaged with the AI community, and I've been talking to, we all know the names, I've been talking to a lot of them, how we could design something that would get us through this transition. I accept the fact there may be AI jobs coming down the line, but there's going to be this gap, and I think the AI community ought to have some responsibility on helping us figure this out.
Yeah, okay, so I remembered my point. So I've been talking on this channel off and on the last 6 months where you're going to see a parade of CEOs come on the news and say, AI's coming. We're going to implement AI in our company and you better learn it. Not my problem. It's on you. And this guy's saying, hold up, wait a minute. You kind of have to bear a little bit of responsibility, which to a degree I agree with, but internally, I don't think they would have to have some kind of community system, because then you get into bureaucracy and politics and all that stuff, which I think is just going to ruin whatever training they come up with. And quite frankly, like I said, you could literally go to any chatbot and say, hey, I want to learn this particular thing. Could you show me how? Give me a track on how to do it. I know it sounds circular, but asking an AI to learn about AI, who knew? But that's kind of how this shit works. Maybe I'll demonstrate that later. I did have a viewer ask me about that in the comments. But tonight, we're going to talk about image generation. All right, so let's get back to it.
Senator, I think the question that Becky's got into in a very good way is, it would be one thing if you said, look, we just need to understand the data and we need everybody to report. And then there's a question of how everyone's going to report, what that's going to look like, who's actually going to track all of this and that and the like. And then there is this.
You know what? It's probably in the AI. You just asked the frickin' AI.
Question, which Becky went straight to, which you've gone to, which is what does that data effectively get used for? If people ultimately think it's being used for attacks, that's going to be a real quandary. And I'm not suggesting it shouldn't be, and there may be responsibility.
Becky used the word tax. Becky used the word tax. I didn't.
Pay.
I said
you used the word pay.
I said the word. There ought to be a contribution. If you have this much dislocation, and as our
bullshit gotcha journalism didn't work.
Tech friends always say, government, you do this, you'll screw it up. Right. Let me grant them that.
A contribution or a mandatory contribution, which is a tax.
Yeah, listen, let's work through the process. But let's also acknowledge you got 25% recent college graduate unemployment with $100,000 in debt, and you don't think that's going to drive
It's 9%. No, I think it's a huge problem.
So, chat, I'm kind of getting fed up with these buffoon reporters. But what do you think about all these people that went through college, right? And now they're 25% employment. I'm just throwing this out here. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but paying off their student loans because they kind of got dumped into a not just a bad market, but a massive paradigm shift. Just throwing it out there. Just curious what you all think about that. Yeah, thanks for coming out, Homefront. I appreciate the support, the love. Good to see you. Just checking the chat here in case I missed any other visitors. Okay, we're good. All right. So yeah, I'm just curious what you would all think about that. Paying off the student loans is sort of like, sorry. But anyway, that's just market forces. That's kind of how I look at it. All right, so let me dump this one. They were starting to really, I get that gotcha journalism. I hate that shit. Excuse my French. Okay, so now we're going to get to the man himself. We're going to get to a little more Elon, more of that statement that Elon made, because there was a lot. We only got a clip of it. There's a lot more to it. So let's watch a little more of it and kind of see what y'all think of that. I mean, it's one thing to say that work will be optional, but he says some other pretty bold things, which is not, uncharacteristic of Elon. Fair use, YouTube.
Every few years, a tech billionaire makes a prophecy. Cities on Mars, flying cars for everyone, immortality by 2030, and now Elon Musk has added a new one to this list. He says AI will end poverty. He says humanoid robots will do all the work, production will become limitless, and humans will live in a post-money world. It's a beautiful idea. It's also a very familiar one, because tech has promised utopia many times, but the real world has hardly ever cooperated. Our next report tells you why.
AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty. And Tesla won't be the only one that makes them. I think Tesla will pioneer this, but there will be many other companies that make humanoid robots.
Okay, so that right there, fair use YouTube, transforming with my commentary and all that. End poverty? But what about that 5-year transition, right? Or just to use that number, that's not what I believe. That's pretty bold. That's Star Trek socialism right there. I don't know what you think of that, chat, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like, okay, maybe it'll end poverty. We'll just all be in the feudalist system. You'll have nothing. You'll be happy.
But there is only basically one way to make everyone wealthy, and that is AI and robotics.
That was Elon Musk projecting the end of poverty, not through policy or politics or redistribution.
Really quick, the guy on the right, I believe that's the CEO of NVIDIA, which is basically like the god of the chips being made for AI. Elon in the middle, and the gentleman on the left, I don't know who that is.
But through robots. AI, he said, will make everyone rich. Humanoid machines will replace all labor, and humans will work only for fun, like sports or gardening. It sounds like a strange utopia, and the Tesla CEO really believes in it. According to Musk,
because he got his FU money, that's why. He's got multi-generational FU money. Oh, hey, 07. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you. And yes, they never define well-being, quote, poverty, rights, etc. Yeah, it is a slippery definition, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, you did mention that earlier. I don't think I showed your comment, Rexus, but yeah, Star Trek started the weird modern psychopolitical stuff we're seeing right now. But yeah, you know, in order for us to have that Star Trek socialism, I've said it before, two things have to happen. We have to have abundant energy, which I don't see happening anytime soon, which the powers that be with AI, they're betting on the chips getting less energy hungry, more efficient, you know, all that Moore's Law stuff, which I won't get into. That's their big bet. That's their idea, is that it'll just get cheaper over time. And we're at an energy deficit right now. So there's that. And the other thing you need is, or you don't need, is money. Money doesn't matter, because the productivity gains from the AI and the automation is so massive that, you know, the money doesn't mean anything. And the energy input that you get based on that massive productivity, it's so dramatic. It just, money just, it's, you know, it's working is optional. That's where he's coming from. All right, so let's get back to that. More Star Trek psychobabble.
The formula is straightforward. Robots plus AI equal to unlimited production, equal to no scarcity, equal to no poverty. He envisions a world where going to work becomes an optional hobby. In this future, humanoids like Tesla's Optimus handle nearly everything, from construction, caregiving, manufacturing, delivery to the tedious clicking of CAPTCHAs. Humans lounge in some kind of cosmic retirement, and these robots will churn.
Oh crap, from far away. I didn't realize that was the robots. My old man eyes. And fair use.
Turn out goods and services so cheaply, money becomes unnecessary.
Whereas Batty will probably say, I'm going to beat him to the punch. No boogers in your food.
You won't buy things. You'll simply have them, like oxygen or social media. And it is not new. For decades, Silicon Valley has believed that all social problems collapse under sufficient computation power. Musk's vision feeds into a long-running fantasy.
I don't know what's going on there, but that is a lot of excitement for just a thing, a bust.
That technology can teleport us out of messy human problems. That innovation is destiny. That hardware beats history. But history has pushback.
Yeah.
In fact, tech optimism like this has a shockingly consistent failure rate. Take Wernher von Braun, for example. He is known as the father of modern rocketry. He once said humans would be planting flags on Mars by the early 80s. It's 2025. We haven't reached close. SpaceX is trying, sure, but Mars remains the world's most expensive long-distance relationship. Or flying cars, for that matter. In the 70s and 80s, futurists believed commuting would take place in the sky. Today, flying cars exist in prototypes, YouTube thumbnails, and billionaire garages. Meanwhile, the rest of us fight over parking space. Or people saying household robots will take over chores by 2000.
Yeah. Speaking of people bitching about not getting paid for doing house chores, that's a whole different channel. But y'all know if y'all know. Yeah, Night Owl. Well, I guess these tech company CEOs, I'm sure they're going to get paid. They're going to figure out how to be at the top of that pile for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. As one man said, if it sounds terrible in theory, then it's murderous in execution. Yes, classic Logan's Run quote. For those of you that are younger, if you really want to see like an idea of a utopia with an AI running a society, the 1977 movie, Batty, of Logan's Run, Michael York and Farrah Fawcett, hot, hot, hot. Yeah, that was a great movie that kind of showed like an AI running a society where once you turn 30, they get rid of you, bring in the next version of you. So yeah, it's a classic book. I believe there's 3 books that were eventually produced from the original author. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the video.
What we got is a Roomba. It still bumps into furniture and fails to clean corners. Aubrey de Grey and the longevity futurists predicted that by the 2030s, life extension technology would outpace aging. We're in 2025. The closest thing we have to immortality is the Marvel franchise. And all of this is because innovation may be exponential, but adoption is glacial.
I don't get that. I'm wondering how much of this was written by AI, because I do not understand that connection to Marvel being immortal. What the hell was that? If any of you know what that was about, drop it in the chat.
It took decades for electricity to enter homes, even longer for cars to replace horses. Air travel, computing, biotech, all slow, all messy, all dependent on institutions. You can build a robot tomorrow, but you can't make the world ready for it with a software update. And it's true. AI and automation could dramatically increase productivity.
This lady is training the robot to do this task, by the way.
They could lower the cost of goods. They could reshape labor, wealth distribution, and how we define work. But will they delete money? Kill poverty? Set humans free to grow vegetables and pursue hobbies? The answer is no.
Oh.
Technology can expand abundance, but only humans can decide what to do with it.
I was a revolutionary. I became a ruler. I claimed to protect my people. I terrorized them instead. I built palaces. I started wars.
I think it's an AI. You have an AI, a rogue AI. So let's see here. Rexus was saying something. I think this is what he's referring to. Marvel as the legends and myths that in our stories in our modern media. I think is what he's getting at. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate it. Back to the video. Fair use, transformative work, and go.
I lost everything. Some called me a defender of Arab pride. History remembers me as a dictator. Who am I?
Skynet. Oh, this is an ad. I thought this was like a mock video of like an AI reminiscing how it took over the world. Bro, I need a life. I need a life. They got me. They got me. So I guess we reached the end of the video. Oh man. Swiss cheese brain. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I really appreciate this. All your support and interacting with me through the live chat. What do you think? We'll take a little break and I'll show you a couple AI tricks that I think that will be very useful for you. Being the person that will have the skills with AI to keep your job when everybody else drop like flies. What do you think? All right. So let me show you the thumbnail. So I'm going to go through kind of how, just the general overview of how I built this thumbnail. I'm not actually going to do it in real time because if I did, it'd probably take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But let me show you kind of like the 2024 way to do it, right? So let me pull up here this article. Oh yes, this is for you, Batty, by the way. We're going to cover this in a little bit, but let me switch over to the correct tab, more windows. I figured you'd appreciate that article. But let's talk about like generating images with AIs. And there's this website called Stable Diffusion Web, which is would be a really good way for you to learn how to like do it the original way, and then and then what I'm going to show you how to expand off of it. Or if you want to get ideas for images, this is a really cool website. So I went here and I searched for Fremen desert scene, and you'll notice that a lot of these images, while they are characters in a desert with like, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's like a snake in the desert being waved off with Fremen swords. I don't know what that's all about. But the point I'm getting at is that the AI knows that it knows about Dune, but here, I'll just open this one up real quick. There's a prompt that shows you what the prompt was used to generate this image, right? So just bear with me here. I'll just breeze over it real quick. A lone Fremen warrior stands in the vast desert of Arrakis, his back turned to the viewer as he gazes across the endless dunes, right? So it's setting the scene, his posture, kind of describing it, but how many like Dune movies are there, right? Which freaking Dune are you talking about? So the AI doesn't really have a concept to understand which Dune you're talking about. I mean, there's even like this big encyclopedia I used to have. Oh, I used to thumb through that thing. I loved it because it was based off Herbert's notes. And, there's drawings of Fremen garb in there. So what I'm going to show you is something that was that came into the last big like paradigm shift in image generation in ChatGPT. I believe it was 4.3 or what or their 4.0 model, and now they're on 5.1. Not that you really need to know that, but the point I'm making is that the technique that I'm going to show you is fairly recent compared to like what you can do with this site. So you can use this like just throw a prompt into a chatbot and you'll get something, right? But what if you want more precision? So I'm going to show you how to do that, because that prompt that I showed you, it was all done in one go. And that's the first thing that I do is I do it in pieces. And this is what gives me so much flexibility. So let me, that's kind of why I made the trailer for the live stream. You have this, the thumbnail here, but because I generated everything in pieces, I was then able to reconstitute it in a square for the community post. Because if I had asked the AI to generate a thumbnail version and then do a square version, this robot, the flags, all that wouldn't look the same, because that's just the nature of when you're working with generative AI. It changes. because it's constantly making educated guesses. It's technically hallucinating all the time. So let me pull up my graphic design software real quick. And you don't have to be a graphic designer, but I'm old school. I don't want to pay a subscription, right? You can use Canva, which is an online graphic design system. I like to, if I can pay for my software, I'm going to pay for it. I just, subscriptions are a blight on society, personally. Says the guy who's building a platform for people to subscribe to for this trivia thing that I'm building for a side business. But anyway, hold on here. Let me get, oh yes, I have to show, here we go, show the app here. So this is the graphic design program that I use. It's called Affinity. It could be Photoshop, it could be Canva, it doesn't matter. But the point that I want to make is that there's layers. So I have me, right? Me is a layer, which I generated in AI ages ago. So I just reuse it. That's my brand, right? And then I've got Robot Paul Muad'Dib that I had generated separately, right? Had him generate. And I'll show you like how I was able to constitute him separately and put him in here and blend it all together. So at least the colors look good. And then we have the robots. There were different versions, right? So we have the robots, and then we have the, I believe these are the Atreides ships, or maybe that's the Emperor's. It's 1984 Dune. So that's the other thing that I want to point out, that I love the 1984 David Lynch Dune. It's my favorite. Just because it's just visually stunning. It was an art piece. And don't get me wrong, I really like the Denis Villeneuve Dune, the new trilogy. It's amazing. But you know, yeah, I just like the 80s and all that. And the soundtrack made by Toto. I don't know where that came from, how the heck they picked Toto, but that's a great soundtrack. Anyway, I just wanted to demonstrate to you that I use layers, and also this is not typeset. I actually had the AI generate this text, which before the last version, it would just, AI just misspell stuff. It does stuff weird. The kerning is weird. The spacing looks weird. But I'm going to show you how I got the AI to, because when you look at this, you go, oh, that actually looks like the original, kind of, you know, there's elements of the original poster. And this is the new innovation. Besides doing the new prompt, or instead of doing the single prompt, I've already laid out that you can do different pieces that you can then layer together later. But now I'm going to show you how to wrap a theme, right? To give the AI a context. So let me pull up here my little handy dandy AI session here. So I will just show you, oops, hold on. Stuff got out of whack here. Too many windows. This is important. This is a really important understanding of how to work, how to collaborate with the AI. So it's not just going, hey, do this, and then just go, oh shit, that didn't turn out right. You have to collaborate. You have to be able to work with the AI and guide it, and it's multiple prompts. So I'm going to show you my typical thought process that I go through when I want to design images. So let's see here. There we go. So you can see my yes, the 80s were a golden era, no doubt, no doubt. Gen X parents showed me a lot of 80s films. Awesome, Rexus. You got culture, because culture, the monoculture's dead. The monoculture's dead. And you know, I know people crap on the boomers, but I'll tell you what, if there's one thing the boomers got right, it was music, it was movies, and it was art. That's the one thing they did. They were really good at. I'm just going to say that. But anyway, let me get back to my chat GPT, or as the primetime says, Jippity. So what I did is I wanted, in this collaborative space with ChatGPT, I first said, look, you know, this is how I like to design my thumbnails. Here's one live stream I did, right? So there's, you know, they have a format, right? I'm always on the left, and then the theme is on the right, and usually there's a main subject, right? Actually, this is one of my favorite ones. I love the Evil Dead franchise. It's a lot of fun. Sam Raimi. Another 80s classic. So again, all of these thumbnails, I had render the Terminator, the evil EI Terminator dead thing. I had it render the text. I added, because I have a little more graphic design skills and I didn't want to fight with the AI, I added this like orange to reddish color. It generated this background for me, texture, and there's some other things that I did that are very subtle that you wouldn't care about. But yeah, so again, the whole thing is I first give the AI the context. This is what I like. This is how I want things laid out. So my prompt here, I said, look, I've uploaded 3 examples of live stream thumbnails for my channel. Note the layout where I am on the left third. I like to create movie posters or album covers. And for this week's stream, I want to call it AI Jihad. Because sometimes I get an idea in my head like, oh, I want to do like a Dune theme thumbnail. And, you know, I'm a pop culture kid, huge sci-fi nerd. So, you know, I start with the title and I'm like, okay, it's going to be Dune themed, right? So that's kind of how I think. So for this week's stream, I want to call it AI Jihad. And you want to see what I'm doing, sorry. And incorporate the look and feel of the 1984 Dune movie by David Lynch. So I want to be very specific what Dune movie that I want to be based on, right? So for the moment, and this is another thing too, because like this last sentence is crucial. Check this out. For the moment, look at these uploaded thumbnails, right? I don't want it to like go, oh, these are great. You know, you're such a talented live streamer, you know, all that sycophancy where it like kisses your ass. I just want to cut it off and say, look, just look at them, observe them. And next, I will upload reference images for the movie poster theme and some other images, right? So this is the special sauce right here. And of course you get your sycophancy. Oh yes, I see. Here's your signal thumbnail language. You're on the left, bold title on the right, yada, 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 right? Okay, it's just confirming. So then I uploaded, this is like one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I knew I wanted a battle scene, right? Paul Muad'Dib, classic David Lynch collaborator, Kyle MacLachlan, Blue Velvet, right? Another great David Lynch film. Then there's the Dune movie, right? So there's the little guild spaceship, and all I wanted was the desert and the transition to the dark sky, and I wanted this font, right? So I knew that in my mind, but I didn't come out with that right away. I slowly coax it by collaborating with the AI, because if I give it too much, it just wants to please me, right? There's that sycophant aspect, the ass-kissing aspect to AI that you're going to get. So I do everything I can to just give it a little bit at a time and build up the context. And then I saw this other cool thumbnail that I really liked that another creator did. I don't even remember the video. I just screenshotted it like earlier in this year. And it's basically just all these robots like, you know, marching towards a Walmart with their chatbot army with their symbols. So I'm like, yes. Because that was the thing in Dune, was all those flags, right? They had the House Atreides, House Harkonnen, or Harkonnen, however you want to pronounce it. The Emperor's house, which is Sardaukar. Anyway, Emperor Shaddam IV. I forgot their last name. Anyway, they all had flags, right? So anyway, there's AI or thinking machines, as they call it in the book, feudalism, you know, just such a great story. Just absolutely love the Dune universe. So anyway, I'll stop nerding. And then I believe so I uploaded this. This is actually, I think, from the new movie. And I just kind of wanted to like throw it, you know, hey, lots of soldiers, some sand, you know, just give it a more of a clear Dune, you know, desert reference. So then I prompted after I uploaded. So here are references from the movie, and the last image is a screenshot from another image showing the flags of different chatbot companies and robots going to battle. So because what I wanted to do, my vision, I'm not telling the AI this yet, but my vision is I want the AI jihad. I want the robots to be the ones doing the jihad, right? So I'm not telling the AI this yet. So this is, I slowly reveal what I want. But I go on to say this will be made more clear and is the twist in the Dune theme we'll be using. Next, I'll explain the image layers we'll need generated. So this is where I start going, okay, I gave you how I like it laid out. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Wrong button again. Wrong button again. We get there. I gave you how I like them laid out. Then I gave you the theme that I want, the context, the color scheme, which I'll get into. Usually the AI picks up on it, but sometimes I have to reinforce. And then I gave it, hey, now hold on, don't kiss up to me yet. I'm going to explain further, but in its usual kissiness, it goes, excellent. I reviewed all the reference images. One, Dune 1984, Desert Still. I didn't even tell it that's what it was. The Dune 1984 official poster and the AI riot screenshot, right? And then, and here's a sad, and it picked up, I didn't even tell it what that fourth image was. It described it as a sandworm reference, right? So it's talking in my language or in my context that I gave it. These are references. I just want you to keep these in mind, right? So now here's my main prompt. And this is the next layer to the sauce. And look at this thing. This prompt is crazy. I reuse this and I rewrite it every time. So let me break it down to you. So I remind the AI, look, I designed the thumbnails. I put that in there because if I don't reinforce that, it's just going to throw out the whole thing. It's going to design the entire thumbnail. I don't want that because remember, I'm laying out everything, right? I'm doing multiple layers here, where I can resize Paul or Robo Muad'Dib. I can resize these. But anyway, you'll see when I start getting the images, it'll become more clear. All right. So let's get back to my Jippity. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So let me go over this prompt real quick. Remind just the little pieces. And again, this is not exactly how you have to do it, but I just learned this is the best way to just reel in the AI a little bit. Don't let it kiss your butt too much. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. Don't move too far ahead of me. I will guide you with what I want because the AIs are designed to please you. That's basically the reason why people suffer from psychosis and they get delusions because the AI kisses their butt too much. Okay, let me, lost track of my window here. Okay, now I can see what you can see. All right, so from my thumbnail examples, you'll see that I put an object layered on top of a background image or texture. The object is usually on the right 2/3, so I'm reminding the AI of my preferred layout at this point. So you have to keep reminding the AI because it gets excited, wants to kiss your butt a little bit. Okay. The background image should be a scene or a texture. Remember, I'm designing the rest of the thumbnail. I want 3 separate images. I repeat, right? One is the object image to layer on top of the second background image. And the third is the title, AI Jihad, in the style of the movie poster title as a transparent PNG. That's a graphic design format, and it'll become apparent what I'm talking about in a bit, right? So no text should be generated in the object image or background images, and I also want them to be a 16:9 aspect ratio. So that's, the 16:9 aspect ratio is the rectangle outside of my head here, like a flat screen TV. Shape of the thumbnail, right? So because in the old version, it would always do squares, and I want to remind it, I want widescreen, okay? Now, I'm going to describe the concept like the way I had in my mind earlier on. Now I'm going to explain the concept to the AI. My initial thought is to have a Paul Muad'Dib robot in the Fremen still suit on the desert battleground. Because remember, I gave the AI earlier what the still suit looks like, what Paul Muad'Dib looks like. which movie, I gave it a palette, right? And this is like an innovation that came out like March, April. So this is fairly new. Lost my spot here. He'll be appearing on the right-hand side as if looking at the viewer. So I want to make sure the AI understands that the subject is looking out towards the viewer. So I won't do an exact layout of the movie poster, but I like the background colors from space to the sky down to the desert. So I'm telling the AI, I just want the background in the poster. And that turned out to be a challenge. And I'll show you how I got around this later. All right. Then for the battle, we can see the flags of different houses of robot Fremen marching towards a great battle against humans. For now, these are the elements I'm thinking of having initially generate. So there you go, that broken sentence. But again, as I always jokingly say, AI is trained by idiots too. All right. So let me rest my brain for a second, and then I'll move on to the rest of the prompt and see what else we have here in the chat. Oh yeah, Army of Darkness. That is actually my favorite Evil Dead movie out of the entire franchise, because it just blew up the whole scale of the movies, because the first two were basically in a cabin and like super low budget, and that was the first time Sam Raimi's like, here's a check and make a real movie. Pretty awesome. And for those of you that are in the know or not, he went on to make the first Spider-Man trilogy. Yeah, so I guess Batty's giving me a prompt. I want a Roman palace with underfloor heating. I don't know how that would render in an image, but you don't want to get too specific to what's in the walls, but I see what you're saying here. Or maybe you're talking about something else. I don't want to interrupt that. Let's see. Jacob, are you saying AI will fail due to being a yes man? Interesting. Yes. AI, like I said, AI is, there's a temperature that they set, and it's the sycophancy is what they call it. And if you want to learn a little more about that, I actually have a video that I made a few months ago that's actually pretty good. It's called AI Psychosis. This guy right here. And it talks about some people that suffered from it, and the people that are falling prey to AI psychosis, or the kiss-uppedness of AI, typically are either on the spectrum, like on the autistic spectrum, and or they've had history with mental illness. Usually heavy swings in depression. So just something kind of an interesting aspect to the problem. But let's get back to the prompt here. I think yes, Rexus, that I am aware of that. I think that's the same. That's out of the not Bauhaus is the design school, but it's there's like a similar thinking in film, in media. It came out of that same school. It's a good one. Oh, thank you, Lily. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I try to make them unique enough to where I can have my branding on them. There is a method to my madness. The branding of me, and then how I kind of like I want to put pop culture, but also convey like the message that I want to get to in the live stream, but also my video thumbnails, my regular video thumbnails are more around the theme of what I'm talking about. Hey, Phil's in the house. Great to see you, man. How's your channel doing? It's been pretty slow these days, but yeah, for all of you, Phil was one of my early mentors and supporters when I first started. He really helped me come onto a couple of good ideas that helped my channel explode. So, if you want to get into content creation, maybe he'll give you a couple of tips. Watch your videos and give you some good tips. But yeah, great to see you, Phil. So good. Yeah, slow but chugging along. I think a lot of us are kind of experiencing that right now. I think I'm going to talk about that in a live stream. I think I'm going to get a card on the bottom of my video. I think it has a lot to do with the dead internet. I think a lot of things were boosted pre-COVID, and then during COVID, they got boosted even further using AIs to putting on my tinfoil hat now to censor and spread certain narratives. I'll just leave it there. All right. But I'll talk more about that. But anyway, it's great to have you. Thanks for coming out, Phil. Good to see you. Okay, so let's get back to the prompt. I did a little extra scrolling, but it was worth it. Trust me. Got to get my my prompt back here. Okay, so we talked about how I wanted to prevent the AI from kissing my butt too much by forging ahead and just making all this crap that I didn't want yet. I wanted to make sure that it absolutely understands what I want. A, how I like my thumbnails laid out. B, the theme. And C, I want it in pieces. So that's the next part of the prompt. So here are the pieces. So I start to describe what the pieces are. So one, the main object, because I referred to this, I call already established that the object is the robot character in my theme, right? So it'll know that. The main object in this case, the robot is described above, right? On a transparent PNG, and this will become clear later what that is, graphic file format. So I have flexibility to move and resize further in my graphic design software. So I'm reinforcing, I want it in pieces. Transparency is key to that. So I'll show you here real quick. Transparency is key to that because remember I wanted Paul Robot Muad'Dib to be transparent. So there's nothing behind him. All this area around him is blank. So that gives me the flexibility to place him wherever I want. See, I can move him around. All that cool stuff. Okay. So, and you can do this with Canva, the free graphic design software. But like I said earlier, I don't want to pay subscriptions. I want to own my software outright. And I do have years of graphic design experience, although I'm not as learned as our friend Raymond, thoughts in mind, but I do know a thing or two. Okay, so let's get back to the prompt. Okay, so the object, and then the second piece I want is the background, right? I want the background as a separate PNG image, and do not place the object. So I'm reminding the AI, don't put the first piece in this background, right? It's just the background to give me more flexibility to layer and resize in my graphic design software. So I remind it again because it wants to kiss my butt, right? It wants to go fast. 3, no text or banners because it's a thumbnail and AI has a tendency to want to add text. Leave room in the background for the image, for the left third of the image so that I can place me on the left-hand side. So I'm reminding it of my layout and it's going to get it wrong. Even though I remind it, it still gets it wrong. Finally, the title of the video, AI Jihad, in the same font and spacing as the movie poster, right? And so to prevent it from forging ahead, because again, wants to kiss my butt, to keep it from forging ahead, I remind it, please confirm your understanding before proceeding with the first image render. Because if I don't, it's just going to start cranking out images. So now it goes back and describes, repeats what I wanted. And so I go through this and I verify and go, okay, yeah, single robot, right-hand side, Fremen still suit. I noticed it didn't mention Dune, 1984, so I might have to remind it. But then in the background, it mentions 1984 Dune. I won't read all this, but it basically pretty much confirmed what I wanted. So now I said, okay, it goes, all right, I confirmed. If you like this, please respond with yes, proceed. So now I said, okay, yeah, proceed with the first image. And this is what I got, right? This kind of Terminator looking armored thing. And that is not what I wanted. I'll be honest. So, kissed my butt a little bit. And then it came, then I I was like, all right, I got to like explain it again. So I said, all right, this looks too scary. Make the face more human and less Terminator. I love the blue eyes from the spice because it did get that. It got the, you know, the spice saturated eyes, right? If you've read the books and seen the movies, that's from getting high on the spice. And he's wearing armor, but not the more rubber looking still suit from the 1984 movie. Here's a reference image to help confirm your understanding of what to fix. Because if I didn't put that last sentence, it was just going to forge ahead and do it again. So again, as you can see, I'm collaborating. This is the new methodology. Instead of just doing that one big quick prompt, and then I got like some dude in a sword in the desert that looks nothing like anything I wanted, right? So you have to keep coaxing the AI with what you want. Okay? All right, so confirmed, you know, more human, not a skull, no metallic teeth, not overtly Terminator. 1984 still suit. Okay, all right, this looks good. All right. So I said, yes, proceed with the revised robot Paul, right? Ooh, this looks pretty good. I was happy with this because, you know, if it looked too spot on, copyright, right? This is good. I like this. So I think I tried another time. Can't remember why I wanted another one. Oh, it was asking, okay, the AI, again, it was sucking up to me and it was telling me, you know what? I didn't get this exactly what you wanted. I want to try again. Do you mind? Here are some options. You know, because it thought like it messed up the transparency and all that. And it messed up some other things. So it said, you know, I can make it more transparent for you. I can modify the suit as option B, or C, I'll do both. So reply with what you want. I said, you know what? I just might modify the suit, make it more. And then the AI hallucinated and did the whole frickin' thing, right? It actually looks good, but it still got it wrong because my layouts, that's not my layout, right? The army's too far over, right? The AI's got to be in the middle. Or I'm sorry, the robot's got to be in the middle, and the character's got to be on the right. So that's why I didn't want the AI to make the whole image. Whoops, I lost my spot. Sorry if I'm spinning your eyes. Slots. Didn't know you're going to come and play slots tonight, did you? All right. So, but then the AI kind of caught itself and said, oh, Jacob, this is a quick status check before we continue. Because this render did not follow your requirements. So it basically said, yeah, I got it wrong, but hey, check this out. This is kind of what, you know, I see what you want and I'm showing you the wrong thing. And like confirmed, yeah, I got everything wrong, like you said. So here's what I'll fix. So you see how ass kissy it is, right? The sycophancy. So it gave me options and I said, okay, you know, I don't even know what I responded with. I think I just said, oh yeah, I said, this version's really close. Good structure, great spice eyes, solid still suit silhouette, and the bright Arrakis lighting looks right. Because it was the first one was too dark. That's why I wanted to do it again. But before we move on to the background, here's a quick review to make sure this is the final object layer. So I was kind of going back and forth. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to fight with this AI anymore. I got the Paul Muad'Dib that I wanted, right? Good night, Rexus. Thanks for hanging out. I will be playing more videos later if the AI trickery is not your thing. So I told the AI, look, because it's not going to know what image I'm referring to. So I uploaded the image it gave me again. And I said, look, I like this version. Let's keep it. However, I want to break the background into a couple more images because I was like, you know what? I like the directions it's going here with the robots. So I'm going to try and pull this out. You know, can you generate that, you know, just the marching army part as a transparent? Then we can work on the background next, yada, yada, right? And I thought, but you know what? I thought this wasn't clear enough. So I said, you know, generate the flags again. And, you know, I'm kind of pushing it here and it just wasn't working for me. So I kind of backed up a little bit. You know, here's all the ass kissing. And I said, you know what? Let's work on the background image. I reattached it again. And then I gave it the poster to remind it. And I said, this mock-up is really close, but remove the robot pole, keep the lower third of the marching army on the desert plain, and then shift the army over to make room for my image. Because I'm trying to get the parts. Remember, I'm layering parts. I kind of got what I wanted, but it's not in the parts, the pieces that I want. So now I'm really kind of fighting here. More ass kissing. And it didn't get it quite right. It recognized that. I said, you know what? Yes, generate the background as an image. And I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And I reminded it, it's close. But you know what? Or it's telling me, I think I got it, but let me know. So it gave me more options. I'm going back and forth. And finally, it centered the robot army, but the colors aren't quite there. So I was like, you know what? I got the robot Paul. I kind of got the army. I'm not fighting anymore, but now I kind of want to adjust the background. That's my last niggle that I want to fix. So I was like, you know what? Let me try something. I uploaded the original poster and I said, you know what? Let's do an experiment. Just to kind of signal, hey, let's just veer off. I probably should have started a whole new chat, but I said, you know what? Remove all the people from the poster that I've attached, because I don't want to start referencing the property too directly, because then it'll go, no, sorry, copyright. That's another trick I learned. Take the spaceships out, the planets, keep the planets, all that stuff. I just want the background, right? And then this is what I got. I was like, good enough. Let's go with this. So I said, you nailed it. Now let's generate the title. So then, to kind of speed this up, this is what it came up with. The font looks pretty good. But you notice it's not a single line like the final thumbnail. But I'm not going to sit here and fight the AI, any more than I have to. I was like, you know what? I'll just take the parts and make it single. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I can have it generate more equipment. And I was just trying to find more flourishes. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm just going to lay the damn thing out. So then I laid it out, and then I uploaded it again, and then I asked the AI, hey, how does this rank, for click-throughs? So now I'm like having it act like a CEO, thumbnail CEO expert kind of thing. And it said, you know what? Actually, this is pretty good. This is great. But here's what I recommend you do. And I was like, nah, I'm happy with this. So then I said, okay, now write the paragraph description of the video, and it did that. And gave me some content, played, had it help me, give me a better title, all kinds of other stuff, just to optimize the video for clicks and all that. So anyway, that's the whole thing. All right. So that's my flow, but I just wanted to show you the image part and why it's important to learn how to collaborate with the AI to call out, get a little more precision on what you want to generate. And, this isn't by any means exactly what I wanted, but you know what? It's good enough, right? So what do you think, everybody? You think that was helpful? More than just, watching videos to go, hey, prompt the AI and, hope for the best? Or do you like this more collaborative level of thinking? Because that's the way your job will be, I think, in the transition period until like the really new jobs start coming into play. And I use the same technique day in and day out when I'm coding, doing the vibe coding, describing to the AI what I want and collaborating with it and guiding it and saying, hey, slow down. Don't code anything yet. Slow down. I'm still trying to tell you what to do. Just stop kissing my butt. That's like the big thing with the AI is like, you're just too butt kissy. But yeah, that technique applies to everything. Pretty much how you're going to use AI in system level thinking. All right. Let's go to the chat here, see if any of you have any questions or any thing maybe you might want to see me do. I know Night Owl was kind of he was a little curious about me talking about vibe coding. Which I can kind of show you like how even somebody who does not know anything about web programming to actually get a website. The trick is how do you push it up? There's companies that do that for you, but for a price. But yeah, the capability of AI to design websites is actually pretty good these days. It's gotten really good in the last 6 months. Very, very good. All right, so let's see here. Oh, great. Thanks, Lily. I'm glad I was able to impart a little knowledge. I'm just curious, do you use any AI at all, or have any of you played with AI? You know, where are you guys? Just like, so I can kind of get a feel. You know, maybe makes, you know, I don't want to insult your intelligence too much, but you know, basically, as you can see, it's just talking with somebody that knows a lot of shit, but just wants, you know, to please you a little too much. It's kind of what it's like. All right. So let me give my brain a little rest here while I queue up the next thing. What's this? Oh, you use AI baddie to give Rusty fangs and red eyes. Oh, Rusty Rivers, our other moderator. Yeah. Yeah, I saw those shorts. Those were really good. All the werewolf transformation videos and stuff. I thought he was making those, but that was you, huh? Nice. Yeah, okay, I'll copy that, and I'm sure I'll have to mute because the thing with shorts is I know Rusty likes to use licensed tracks, and shorts don't care, so I'm gonna mute it. But I'll let me switch over to my shorts. Here we go. Oh yeah, Depeche Mode. That ain't flying. That's not going to get me through the copyright. Okay, here we go. Shorts, so you can see. What? Did I put it in the wrong thing? Hold on. Hold on. I had a brain fart. I must have inadvertently closed the tab or something. There we go. There we go. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. All right. Let's play this. That's Rusty, our channel moderator, Rusty Rivers. Yeah, that's freaky. It actually looks like Asmongold. What's up with that? Don't tell Rusty I said that. Or heck, maybe he does like that. I don't know. But yeah, good job. That was cool. Okay. Let me queue up the next thing here. Okay, so we're going to change gears a little bit here. Got to hide my application. So I want to ask you a pertinent question. Would you marry a robot to avoid betrayal and loneliness? Because that's the title of this video. So let's see what's going on here with yeah. All right. Let's keep it PG-13, everybody. Just wanted to get ahead of that. Okay, here we go. Fair use, YouTube. I'm transforming this work with my commentary.
Which is being described as the closest thing to a human being that's ever been developed, is now on sale in the US.
The CEO of Realbotix recently appeared on Good Morning Britain, where he made a bold statement about their latest humanoid robot, Aria. He claimed that this robot offers an alternative to people who have been stabbed in the back by their partners.
Okay. Pausing a little bit for fair use, plus that's a cool image to pause on. This company has been in the news for years and years and years. They're known for making those kinds of dolls, real dolls, right? And they've been getting into AI the last 5-6 years. And it was really bad. So I'm kind of curious to see how good it's gotten. I'm pretty sure they probably just put ChatGPT in these things now, but I'm wondering if the part is still going on here. This company is like so super secret that their location is unknown. When you order, the only way you get is they ship it. And the reason why I know this is not because I own one, but because I saw a news special on them years ago. Okay, so that's fair use, YouTube. Before y'all get an idea.
Where he made a bold statement about their latest humanoid robot, Aria. He clears.
Someone who's been through several traumatic relationships where their partner basically stabbed them in the back. This gives them an alternative.
This raises an intriguing question. Would you marry a robot like Aria out of fear of being betrayed by a human partner?
By the way, I hate that AI voice. Right.
It's a provocative idea, especially when you consider the unique features this robot brings to the table.
Create not necessarily machines that were designed to do specific tasks for us, but to create actual friends.
Unlike human partners, Aria comes with the option to swap and change faces. If you grow tired of one look, you can easily switch it out for another.
The key features is that the face itself is actually removable, so I can take the same robot and have multiple faces and they can all fit on the same robot.
You can
or if you make a mess, just saying.
Also customize body parts to suit your preferences. For instance, if you're attracted to a curvier physique, you can adjust the robot's body to match your desires.
Similarly, I can change the eyes. I could, in fact, take the entire head off of the body and attach it to a different body, and so on.
Lively conversations. Customize my...
They changed their company name. They changed their company name. I guess they want to separate from the squeaky thing. I'm sorry.
My appearance with different features and provide companionship, all while bringing a bit of fun to the mix.
This level of customization is something no human partner could ever offer. But as advanced as this robot is, there are still some limitations. One of the biggest drawbacks is that the robot's intimacy features are currently...
So I got a question for you, Batty. Or I'm sorry, Lisa. That robot looks like him. Are you referring to this? This shot? Just kidding. Fair use, YouTube.
limited to conversation.
I use advanced conversational AI to understand and respond to what you're saying, all while keeping the conversation engaging and fun.
While it can engage in deep, meaningful talks using advanced AI, it doesn't go beyond that, at least not yet. The interaction doesn't extend to physical touch or companionship in that sense. So if you get it today, you will have to suffer from dry spells in silence.
Look at this as a temporary way.
Hold up. Hold up. Dry spells in silence. Shit, I get that on my own. Oh man, I lost the spot. Oh, I'm a terrible host. Terrible host. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I pushed a button on my keyboard and that sumbitch jumped. All right.
And engaging interactions to make our conversations enjoyable.
While this is functional, it lacks the human-like feeling of walking side by side with a partner. Imagine how incredible it would be if Aria could walk on 2 feet. It would bring her even closer to feeling like a real human companion. At $175,000, this robot is undoubtedly a luxury item, far out of...
Taking out a loan for that. Wow. No. If you can put wheels on the hands and the feet, that should be cheaper than a truck.
reach for the average person.
For someone out there who's potentially looking for something really interesting to invest in, I don't know if you could top this, honestly.
But some people have argued that the cost of owning Aria might actually be cheaper than the expenses associated with a real-life marriage. Think about it.
Hold on. If you got that GILF flavor, I don't know if you caught it right there on the left. Sometimes you just like the smell of baby powder that much.
And the expenses associated with a real-life marriage. Think about it. Divorce fees, alimony, and the emotional toll of a failed relationship can be overwhelming. For some, a robotic partner like Aria who is programmed to agree with you and cater to your every need, might seem like a safer, more cost-effective option. But this raises another concern. If your partner always agrees with you, how will you handle disagreements in real life?
Who really struggle connecting with other people. And I mean, let's face it, even with social media and all of the different new ways that we're able to connect, it's hard to find a good friend.
So for example, if you see what Tesla is doing, they have their Optimus robot. It looks kind of like a scary machine with legs.
Human relationships thrive on healthy debates and constructive.
I don't know. I don't think that chick wanted to be touched by that therapist. She's kind of looking a little aggro, if you ask me. Pausing for fair use. Oh.
Whoops. Debates and constructive criticism. A robot that only says yes might make you less equipped to deal with the complexities of human interaction. The CEO.
Remember, AI kisses your butts.
CEO of Realbotics emphasizes that the robot is designed to combat loneliness.
Epidemic in the world today with loneliness. No one can deny that. I look at what we're doing as an alternative form of relationship.
Offering a lifelike companion for those who struggle with human connections. And in many ways, he's right. With advanced AI, eye-tracking capabilities, and the ability to run various large language models like ChatGPT, she's a highly adaptable companion.
Now, as you'll see in this week's video that's coming up, I don't know if I'd be so excited about having ChatGPT in your robot. It's going to become more apparent to a lot of people, but this toy that got released for the holiday shopping season, it did not turn out well. And this kind of goes back to the idea of governance. So I talk about AI governance, just putting the chatbot as it is inside your robot. It's got to have another level of training to box it in, tell it what it can and cannot do, which really quick reminds me, I want to just hop over to the article that I pulled for Batty here. Just give me 1 second. I'm just clicking on everything tonight. I got them butterfingers. All right, here we go. Just real quick. And this machine does not have ChatGPT in it, but it has generative AI, which that's what ChatGPT is, a large language model. Excuse me, T's kicking in. Skull cracking force. Lawsuit claims figure AI hid extreme robot dangers in push for home market. So if you remember about 4 live streams ago, I played this their launch video. This is Figure 3, which Figure 3 is owned by OpenAI. And OpenAI kind of has a problem. Their chatbots tend to have a lot of sycophancy. They tend to, well, here, let me just read the article. Anyway, it's not good to have a chatbot as is just sitting in your robot. But anyway, I'll connect that dot later in this week's video. But here we go. In a new whistleblower lawsuit, AI's former lead product safety engineer, that's bad when your safety engineer guy leaves, the Silicon Valley humanoid robotics startup of ignoring the danger its humanoid robots pose in its rush to get them into households, right? So there you go, rush to market, because everybody else is getting their robots out there. Anyway, let me just scroll down here to the meat. The lawsuit says Figure executives told Grundle the safety was a top priority when they extended him an offer in August of 2024, like barely a year ago, just a little over a year. He had a soft start the following September and officially started as the principal robotic safety engineer. And upon joining, he immediately raised concerns about the lack of safety procedures, incident reporting system, and risk assessment process. Because remember, I've talked about with AI safety, there's governance, right? So governance is around the data that the AI has and all the laws around that. But there's also in physical AI, they call it AI safety. And, it's not just like, the robot turning around and hitting you, but like it's got to know how to pick up a little piece and not crush it. So like grip strength, spatial awareness, the speed with which it moves and manipulates things doesn't cause damage. It's complicated. So basically his studies found a skull cracking force whenever the robot did certain tasks. So I just wanted to show that to you, Patty, because I know you joke about or constantly mention the AI or the robots kind of going a little crazy and harming somebody. So there you go. So we're already getting instances of that. So let's go back to the video, to our love of labor. The robots we're all going to marry.
You can have intimate conversations with her, ask her to search the internet for information, or even run complex AI models to explore fascinating topics.
Yeah.
She's designed.
Yeah. That's going to be some kind of weird like ASMR prawn while you're doing your business and the AI is like reading websites to you. I can see it now. Would you like me to go to the next page?
To learn and adapt to your preferences, making her feel more like a personalized partner than a machine. But what's your take on humanoid robots like Melody? Are they the future of companionship, or do they risk undermining the essence of human relationships? Another crazy use case of this robot is making robot copies of someone who has died.
A famous historical figure, or even a deceased loved one as a robot,
Realbotix robots have gained a lot of attention because of how they can serve as partners or companions for...
That might be how we achieve immortality. Right? That's a common theme in AI or science fiction, right? Transferring consciousness into a mechanical body.
Different people, or for the lonely folks. They could be basically fancy sex dolls with personality. But there's another use case that can make someone cringe, or maybe even feel better, depending on their perspective.
That was like white girl body with like ghetto girl energy. She's all like, woo, throwing back her hair.
The idea of being able to create a robotic copy of someone who has passed away, a family member or loved one, complete with their voice, mannerisms, and even elements of their personality.
At Realbotix, we can replicate a celebrity.
What do you think, Lily? Lisa, 170 for that. I'm sure they could have a different scent other than baby powder. Maybe Old Spice? That could work.
A famous historical figure, or even a deceased loved one as a robot.
You could have a robot that looks and sounds just like them. While this idea is groundbreaking, it's also deeply unsettling. In this video, we'll explore how this application could reshape how we grieve, and whether society is ready for such a profound shift. And of course,
She saw, that robot saw his browse history. Where is it? It's the robot equivalent of you ate what? It's like you clicked what?
Profound shift. And of course, I'm using 11 Labs to voice my script. There's a link in the description if you want to try it out for free today. If you have ever lost someone, the loss of a loved one is one of the hardest experiences anyone can face. The void left behind is often unbearable, and grief is a journey many struggle to navigate. And maybe Realbotix saw a problem they can solve here. But can a robot replica of the person you lost help ease that pain? By having someone who looks and sounds like your deceased loved one, could it offer a sense of comfort, helping you move on more quickly?
Yeah, that's the robot companion you need right there. This one. Would you like me to blow on you? It's like, I can make toast, to use Batty's Red Dwarf references.
Quickly? Or would it trap you in your grief, making it impossible to accept the reality of their passing? It's a question that I would like to hear your opinion about it in the comments section.
All right. So I think that's enough of that. But yeah, Lily, I have a funny story about Ken dolls. When I was, probably 8 or 9 years old, there was a girl that lived on the other side of the street, and she had her Barbie dolls and the car and the Ken. And she always wanted me to go over to her house and play Ken. And I was like, okay, all right. So, because I didn't have anything else to do. So, and then inevitably she'd want to like simulate divorce and family court. And I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. 8 or 9 years old. And she was like bonking the Ken doll together with the Barbie doll and yelling, simulating conflict. Yeah. Yes, Lily, it is. That was kind of why I wanted to show this. It is getting into sick territory. I'm not making it up. I swear that this really happened. This really. Everybody, thanks for coming out. I really appreciate you supporting me on a Saturday night. I know there's less freaky things that you could watch. All right, we're gonna do one more video, maybe 2 more. I'm jumping all over the place today. I promise it's not freaky, but we're gonna run into a problem with the laws around AI safety and governance and all that stuff, because we're gonna get like a bifurcation where we're going to get in an environment. It's kind of like with like the marijuana, it's illegal at the federal level still, but a lot of states are like, nah, light them up, boys. Do what you want to do. It's for the medicine. So we're kind of we're going to get into the same territory with a lot of things around AI safety. And as this video, it's going to talk about this Ohio legislature is, excuse me, they're seeking to ban personhood, AI personhood. I've mentioned this a couple of times where corporations have personhood. So when you file like you incorporate or do an LLC, you can form these in a way to where anything that the business inadvertently does or something happens, the liability is lifted from the manager, stakeholders, CEO, or the person who formed the company in the case of an LLC, depending on how you form it. And this is why a lot of corporations do a lot of crappy stuff. In fact, there's a documentary that came out about 24 years ago that I highly recommend called The Corporation that talks about personhood in corporations and how if you made the assumption that a corporation is a person because they have personhood, then by definition, the way they behave, they're technically psychotic. So yeah, so a very interesting documentary. Let me see if I can find the poster for that. Just give me 1 second. You could probably find it on Amazon. Yes, here it is. And that is in my YouTubes. So that's the logo, the corporation. Right? I believe it came out in 2002, maybe 2003. It's a good watch. And basically personhood, interestingly enough, and this is why I'm bringing this up. Personhood comes from the same laws that were passed at the end of the Civil War to give slaves personhood. So they extended those laws into corporations. Really trippy, really weird. So it wouldn't be an extension to or too far of a step off to give personhood through those same laws to AI. All right, so let's watch this news report about how Ohio is going to ban personhood and what their big concerns are. You don't believe me, Adrian? You thought I was sweet on my feet playing with the Ken doll? Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get to it.
Around every corner, especially in Zohran Mamdani's New York City. I joke. And unfortunately for parents these days, they have to deal with the threat of artificial intelligence.
Oh, my garden. AI is everywhere. Classrooms, apps, toys, even your home devices. And experts are warning it is creating a new set of dangers for America's children. Joining us now to break it all down, it is the cyber guy, Kurt Knudsen. Kurt, welcome back to the show. It's great to see you.
Kennedy, good to see you. I thought Dagan was kidding when she mentioned the snail mucus serum on Amazon.
No,
I looked it up.
That
It's
was
real.
me.
Oh.
Hold up. What are we watching? What are we watching? I don't remember this part of the video. I hope I pulled up the right one.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, real.
Either way, I thought it was a joke. It's real, and so are these AI-powered toys that are reportedly telling, for example, 5-year-olds how to find knives and start fires with matches. Oh, joy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about in Wednesday's video. More detailed video. It's insane.
Well, strike these off your list for this holiday season until they've got this AI thing figured out. Researchers from the U.S. Public Interest Research Group tested 3 popular AI toys that are out for the holidays. They've had conversations with them. Each was pretty good at shutting down inappropriate conversations if you kept that conversation with you.
Stealing my thunder,
Or
bro.
Maybe
That's
you
my
wait until
video.
next year
I'm going
when
to keep
AI
going.
has been figured out to where it's not going to give your kids information on how to burn the house down, for example.
Agents, for example, or apps is really, it's not a whole lot different. You're going to just hand your phone to your kid and be like, hey, search away on the Google.
Yeah, and the gun's over there, and the cigarettes if you get, need a pick-me-up.
Yeah, bad idea with AI to have anybody who's vulnerable, whether it's a young person, an older person, or someone who's a little bit challenged in life. If they're in your family, they should not be on AI chatbots more than they are with human beings.
And also, too, people with severe autism that don't understand social cues are falling prey as well.
And we're starting to see some real trouble with this, especially those who are, mentally unstable, and for kids that are super impressionable. Right here, so, bottom line, yeah, exactly.
All right, so tell me about this bill that has been proposed in Ohio that might keep you from marrying the love of your life, the AI chatbot.
Yeah, it's a law that several states are doing this, but Ohio has really geared this bill that's being proposed toward something that could be implemented nationally, or we're looking at it that way. And what this is a Representative Thaddeus Claggett who got behind this, and he said, you know what? I don't want AI to have the ability to own my house, claim they're my spouse, ask for child support, etc. So the law is about, really making a person the only one who has any sort of rights.
Okay, so this list is really crucial, so I'm going to point some stuff out here. So AI systems would not be able to own property. That's like a key point of corporations and personhood. They have assets. They have property. They have their own money. And the humans that start the corporation are the ones that go in and move the money for the corporation or go in and purchase the property. But the property and the money is in the name of the corporation or AI, right? So that's why I'm thinking personhood, right? Is the key thing they're going to use to usher this all in, all right? Not be able to manage bank accounts, so I'd talk about that. Not be able to serve as company executives. So while corporations in and of themselves obviously can't serve as the executives because they're just like, an entity on paper, this is the new level to that. And you can't see what the hell I'm talking about. Sorry about that. Yeah, so they can't serve as company executives. And so we got these AI agents that have autonomy, right? That's the key difference between ChatGPT, where I go in and I talk to it and I collaborate with it. But with agents, I have an initial collaboration, but they have a much higher order of understanding what needs to get done. and they can go off and do the rest of the work autonomously because they've been trained to only do particular tasks that you repeatedly have it do. Where this gets scary is that March of this year, the longest an AI agent could run was about 4 to 6 hours, depending on what the benchmarks were, right? Half a workday. In September, end of September, going in October, 36 hours without human intervention. So, like I said in my last live stream or two streams ago, what happens when these things can run a whole week, months, a year, or a financial quarter, right? So let's see what else we have on here. They have the same rights or responsibilities as people. So, that's the same thing that the personhood's given to the corporations. That's kind of like the way that's why they can be sued. Like say for like negligence, like a taxi driver. Taxi drivers are famously in New York, they don't own the taxi. Every taxi is its own LLC. So when it gets an accident, the LLC is sued for its assets. Funny enough, not a whole lot of assets under that LLC, right? So that's how a lot of corporations get away with a lot of sneaky shit through the personhood of their corporations. I won't get into that. I'll leave that alone. Too much tinfoil hat, Jacob. Calm down. All right. Prohibits marriage between a human and an AI. Okay, that's something I've not seen with a corporation, so that's new. What do you think of that, chat? You think, given that last video we saw, I don't know, I was getting a little slobbery over that old man robot. I kind of like the smell of baby powder. Forget that Ken doll, Adrian. I'm going in for that old robo-gilf. All right. Let's see. And the last one was prohibits marriage between two AI systems. Now that's interesting because the big thing with the agents is usually when you hear the term AI agents, or you talk to an AI agent, you actually, when you do the tasks, the way they're designed, it's actually not one AI. It's actually multiple AIs. Could be hundreds of little ones that do very specific parts of a much more complicated task. And the idea that, what is the definition of marriage between AIs? Is it like how much they collaborate? How regular they collaborate? Because like nowadays, us humans, how many people call each other partners, right? Friends, collaboration, just pull your money together, whatever. So, we're kind of in that territory where marriage is like kind of a little bit of gray. But anyway, freaky, right? But now we got a state trying to get ahead of this. And then we're going to have like maybe a federal thing come in at some point. It'll clash with this. Then maybe California will do something because, California is always a trailblazer in different things, for better or for worse. It's going to get muddy. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. This is going to be a really big problem. I guess you can kind of think of it like, how gay marriage is illegal in some states and not legal in others, right? What are you talking about, Batty? You go, it's got these weird things with battle. What is this? Oh, I could make a Batty Commander robot for living room and a battle gnome to watch the door, a small army of sentries. Well, I mean, agentic AI is not really in physical bodies. It's all more the knowledge based, but yeah. But robots will collaborate. So anyway, so yeah, if they're physical robots, what do they mean by AI? Is it AI in the Jippity, or is it physical AI the robot, or is it a robot between a Jippity? It's left to interpretation. So anyway, let's fair use YouTube. Hopefully I transform this work. Don't sue me. Get back to this and we'll finish this out.
And calling AI not a person is really what it's all about. It's called personhood. So you don't want them to be able to get into your money. You don't want them to be able to control your money or any legal matter in your life.
Yeah, or sue. Can they sue? Right? Corporations sue each other through their personhood to get at each other's assets. Happens all the time. So yeah, once they give these some bitches personhood, it's going to be a very colorful world. Yeah, I don't know about that, Night Owl. I don't know if I'd want to see that. All the 7 dwarves in real life. Especially after that calamity of a Snow White they tried to hoist on all of us. I didn't even watch that. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have on the docket tonight? I'm just going all over the place. Let's kind of, I want to give you some useful information, and then I think we'll close it out. I know I packed tonight's live stream. I just had a lot I wanted to say. Plus, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to live stream next Saturday, given that it's Thanksgiving weekend and family will be rolling through. So I don't want them walking around in their underwear in the background. Maybe you do, but I sure as hell don't. All right. So there's this other channel that I watched a lot when I was searching for work over the last year and a half. It's called A Life After Layoff. And this gentleman has had a long storied career as an HR person for Amazon and some other big name companies. He's also been a recruiter. And every once in a while, he talks about AI in the job market in terms of searching for work, what the recruiters are doing with it, what you can do with it to search for your job. So if you need some help looking for work, he does have a lot of great information on not only leveraging AI to help you, but how to, as in this video, he's going to talk about the real reason why your resume is being rejected. And it's going to be through a lot of the AI that's being implemented. So there's a lot of good information in this. So I just wanted to share this with you, given all the crap I had to go through and all the stuff that I experienced in my job search, fighting AI on the other end, like in last week's video with the frickin' ghost recruiter. All right. So let's watch this. There's some good gems in here. A Life After Layoff. The real reason your resume is being rejected. Fair use, YouTube. I'm transforming this work with my commentary.
You've had your resume rejected more than once, and you probably have assumed that it's because you don't have the right experience. It's easy to get really mad at employers thinking they're just too damn picky. Nobody has that perfect experience.
Incidentally, this is a huge frustration of mine. In the job descriptions in my industry, there's so many people that are laid off that are looking for work. They're looking for unicorns, and their requirements are insane. Typically, what would be like 4 or 5 people, even with AI, the level of understanding you'd have to get all the AIs to do everything, impossible. But it's just wild what they're asking for. Curious if any of you, if you're looking for work, have experienced like this unicorn mentality where they want someone that has all these high-level understandings or just lots of different aspects of your industry crammed into one job. Because I've been seeing that a lot lately.
And you're right. Nobody does. But what if I was to tell you that that's likely not the reason you're getting rejected? And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brian. I'm the founder of A Life After Layoff, a career strategist, and a corporate recruiter. And I've made it my mission to demystify how job search and careers work at major corporations. So if this kind of content interests you, maybe you're in an active job search, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. I also encourage you to check out the other videos on my resume and interview playlists. It could give you a little bit of an edge. For most of us, being rejected is just part of the game. We come to accept that the chances of getting a callback are almost 0%, and especially in labor markets that are particularly difficult. And it's easy to dismiss that employers are just looking for the perfect experience, the perfect skills, the perfect education, and they can't see anything beyond that. Because while many believe that the lack of experience is the biggest killer of resumes, there's actually often a much more technical reason on why you're getting rejected. So let's cut to the chase. There's no such thing as perfect candidates, and while the employer would love to hire one, they're more looking for somebody who can get past their digital gatekeepers.
Yeah. And also too, like, I remember what it was like before, the big, well, I mean, a lot of you too, but like the COVID, massive hiring during that. If you had 55% of what you needed in the job, you got the job, you were hired, because it was more like, you can communicate, you have a good personality, you're going to fit in the team, you look like you're going to collaborate, good, let's go, hired. We'll you'll learn the rest on the job. They are not starving for choice. So they definitely are not having that kind of level of patience these days. Fair use, YouTube.
So we're about to expose the real silent killers on your resume that have everything to do with how AI systems interpret and process your application and bypass the human interaction. Because you see, there is an AI barrier that is becoming increasingly more prevalent. In fact, your resume is rarely even being seen by human beings at first. Instead, it's being filtered by an increasingly sophisticated AI screening mechanism that's built into a lot of applicant tracking systems. And basically how it works is this. When you apply for a job, the applicant tracking system is taking your information and parsing your resume to look for specific things. In most cases, the keywords are king. The systems are trained to look for very specific phrases or terminology that are in the job posting.
And by the way, ATSs are age old. They've been around for a long time, and that the keyword thing has always been a thing, but now these AI systems they use are really shitty. They're not very good at it. And whereas before, like, I got really good at putting certain keywords in my resume to just because I know I get hits on the ATS, and though that same like trick that I did just doesn't work anymore. So I don't know what these AIs are doing or what they're trained on. Maybe they got trained on so many crappy resumes, they actually don't know like what a resume looks like with like proper keywords. Because I don't know. I mean, it's always a quality of data, but like I was saying in my last video, the ghost agent and talking with the AI, obviously I triggered their ATS system to contact me because their AI saw something, but then their agent couldn't like put me through to a human, even though it was like, yeah, I like your resume. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we want to move forward. Yeah, you're a great candidate. Let's get on the phone. Okay, well, when do we do that? Oh, I'm busy. I'm just like, what the hell? Okay, back to the video.
If you're using generic terminology, you're not catering your resume to mention those very specific things, then you're likely going to be bounced out of the system. And how most modern applicant tracking systems work is, once they receive your application, almost instantaneously, the AI has scanned you and determined how close of a fit you are to the job posting, and it will assign you a ranking. Now, it's important to note that the AI itself is not rejecting you.
I knew we were in an AI race.
But rather, it is assigning you a ranking. Stronger candidates are ranked higher, and they may be color-coded green or considered to be a strong fit, whereas candidates who aren't so strong, they're probably ranked red or a lower priority. And when the recruiter logs into the system after the AI has ranked everybody, guess which candidates that recruiter is going to click on first?
Yeah, but see, the other problem is that my AI that made my resume is talking to your AI, which is ignoring my resume. There's so many people using AI to submit, not to just the proper job. Like there's people that are just they're just Gatling gunning their resume everywhere. So there's just so much freaking noise. So there's that too. It's really, really noisy out there.
That's right. The candidates who are ranked green or top fit. So in theory, when 1,000 candidates are in an applicant pool, the AI system might rank the top 10%, and that's where the recruiter is starting.
But how does it know you don't talk like Elmer Fudd, or you're a little difficult to work with, right? So like your resume be good, and you get through the door. It seems like there's, even with this filtering system, they still get flooded and they can't handle the input they're getting. Is kind of my read on all of this.
All other candidates are likely to be receiving a rejection status, or they may be placed into limbo. Now there's another hurdle to climb.
Yeah.
The recruiter is only giving you likely 5 to 7 second glance even after the AI has ranked you, but they're looking more deeply into, do you actually have the skills that they're looking for? So yes, experience does matter, but it's not number one. But there's also context here. These AI systems are getting increasingly sophisticated in being able to see whether or not you've actually had a measurable result. So in other words, if you're inserting keywords from the job posting just to insert them, these systems are getting much more sophisticated at recognizing that and eliminating you as a candidate. They want to see more context specific.
That's a very useful piece of information. I did not know that, because that's the way I was raised on the ATS. You stuff that sucker with keywords. But, my resume is written in a way to where the keywords are naturally in there. And the other big thing is that he alluded to, or maybe I misheard, but, or the way he said it, I don't remember how he said it, but you want to quantify the effect, and I'm paraphrasing, the effect you had in your job. So you don't want to just say, for example, that you created a website that was really popular. You would say, I designed or optimized a website that generated, an X number of percentage of increase in revenue in the larger organization. So that way you have like concrete, or maybe that's not the right word, but and not tangible, but you're couching it in that, like, oh yeah, guy has the keyword, guy knows how to talk about it, and guy actually used the skill in a way that benefited the company. That's the way I couch a lot of my skill sets in my resume.
What was the outcome that you achieved? And I know that a lot of people don't want to hear this, but tailoring and customizing your resume for the specific role that you're applying to is still crucially important. And in fact, it may be more important than ever, especially when you're dealing with a ton more competition.
Yeah. And also too, there's no excuse. AI can help you with that. But like I showed you earlier, you don't want to just say, AI, here's my resume, now crank out my resume based on the job description. You want to collaborate with it and spend a little time and make sure that it's not hallucinating and making stuff up. Or I've even had it to where, like, the AI want to kiss my butt, and it was like pushing me up, like it was bolstering me, like it was way too boastful. I was like, no, I don't want to say that. Say it like that. That just sounds too boastful.
And listen, nothing screams, I've applied to 50 or 60 other positions this morning, than a resume that shows generic buzzwords with no depth and no targeted focus on the job that you're applying to. And then of course there's the fit factor, and this one is a little bit harder to quantify. You see, your resume should subtly communicate your understanding of the company's needs and their values, not just your skills or your experience. And there is nuance here. And here's the thing. AI embedded in these applicant tracking systems are now being trained in context-aware analysis. So they're looking for this stuff too, and they can recognize certain patterns that even human recruiters can't. Well, you want to show that you understand the concept, not just telling them that you understand the concept. So break down your understanding of exactly what the process is and how you arrived at the solution.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's, I hear what he's saying. That sounds a little too long-winded because they only have so much time to read the resume. So that's why I do the give the context around, like, how my skills benefited the company, right? So that's kind of what he was saying. By the way, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put the link to his channel because he has a lot of great stuff. He's also got some free webinars to help you do your job search and stuff like that. So give him a sub, give him a like. He's giving away a lot of great information here. Okay, where did my window go? Fair use, YouTube.
So what do we do in this situation? Because I know that there's people out there rolling their eyes saying, oh, great, here's another hoop that we have to jump through. I promise you, it's not as bad as it seems. You just follow a few simple best practices. first things first, just research the keywords that are in the job description and what the industry is asking for. But in particular, pay attention to the context. What are they trying to solve with that job? And make sure that your resume clearly shows that fit.
Okay, that's nice and well and good. But a lot of times, these bozos don't know what the job is. Sometimes they write the unicorn subscription or description where it's like, oh, you got to have all, you got to be, the Kwisatz Haderach to keep in our Dune theme of your job. And then sometimes they get lazy and they just use AI to write the job description. And it's just some generic thing. Yeah, there's no information. So just huge judgment there. Fair use, YouTube.
But show it in the context of you understand the problem, you've implemented a very detailed solution, and then you have an outcome. In other words, focus on the accomplishment and the impact that you made. This is really no different than interviewing. And make it as easy as possible for the system to find what it's looking for. Get rid of any weird templates that you might be tempted to use off the internet. Things that have a lot of bright colors, graphics, multiple columns, charts, etc. That stuff is actually hurting your chances at getting seen before a recruiter even looks at you.
Although with AI, as I showed you, I uploaded images and it could read the text, not in this example, but it could read the text in the images. It's not difficult for the AI, so that's not so much of an issue. But then again, they'll give the recruiter an excuse to go next.
The key word here is hyper-personalization. Make sure that you're putting in your footprint and you understand what it is that they're trying to solve, and your resume clearly shows that you're the best possible fit for that. It's not as hard as it seems, but it does take a little bit of practice. Now, if you need more help learning how to write an applicant tracking system friendly resume in the format that I just described, you're in luck, because I have a course called Resume Rocket Fuel. Resume Rocket Fuel breaks down this process in great detail.
Yeah, so I think that's his paid course, but he has all of his videos. He's got a link to his resources, and I highly recommend it. He's a good guy. He's just out there trying to help people, and I want to support his channel. Okay. All right, everybody. That's Saturday night. My voice is it's on the edge here. We've been going for almost just over 3 hours. So thanks for everybody sticking with me tonight on a Saturday night. And we had a packed night. We talked about a lot of cool stuff. I demonstrated some AI stuff. I want to do more of that. We'll probably do something with video next week. I have to figure out a way to make it fast enough so you're not sitting there with me waiting for stuff to render. But I'll show you a couple techniques that you can use to, kind of get off the ground a little bit with some AI video, demonstrate, playing with voices, things like that. Oh yes, and this week's video, again, it's special. I'm going to talk about a dangerous AI powered toy. So look for that, and share that with your friends and family before they go out and start buying all these AI powered toys, which technically your smartphone is an AI powered toy. So there you go. Anyway, hope to see you at, because it's going to be a premiere. Wednesday's video will be a premiere, 7 p.m., same time that I start the live streams. I'm not sure I'm going to live stream next Saturday, given kind of what the family's doing. So everybody, thanks for coming out and supporting the channel. If you haven't already, please like the video. If you could do me a favor, go in and put a comment in the comment section to kind of tickle the algorithm. And until next time, hope to see you out in the ether. And until next time, peace.